mission, I'm trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life, making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Making a transition. Trying to mission, I'm on a mission, I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transition in my life. On a mission, on a mission, on a mission.
All right, so we have Frank talking about that African Americans have no culture, and we're not done with the conversation. We were on the other channel discussing it, it got cut off. So we're going to continue the conversation over here. Mighty Hebrew wanted to come up and give some more context to it. So let's get into it. Let's start off with some of the things that he has been saying, and then we'll let Mighty Hebrew come up and give his take.
Gaijin. Gaijin is the Japanese word for foreigner. Do you know when you are a foreigner to Japanese?
I've heard it be called a foreigner. Then
no, you know when or where they will refer to you as a foreigner.
When you're not born there?
No, what I mean is when a Japanese. Anyway, when the Japanese definition of the word foreigner is not when you visit his country.
What is it?
If 4 Japanese come to the United States, they refer to everybody here as Gaijin, the foreigners. Because Gaijin means those who are not like us.
Okay.
So it's not only when you go to their country. When they are in your country, all of you are Gaijin.
Okay.
So you're asking me, why do they call you, the black man white? Well, in Africa, we don't say that skin color is what identifies you with an ethnicity or a tribe or this. We don't. It's more of traits, personality, character. Yes. So if you have lived among the whites and you're from a Western country, yes, you wear the same skin color, but we know that if we interact, we have to learn how do we interact with this person. Okay, you wouldn't go to Ghana and feel comfortable sitting on somebody's lap because the public transport is full and sit on his lap. I don't have any problem with that because we don't have spatial communication. Only Westerners have spatial communication, which means that you don't get to yo. You know, when we were in high school, we hold each other's hands, boys. Here
in high school,
yeah,
for what?
Like walking home.
Okay.
You see what is going through your mind now?
He's like, pause.
I remember my best friend always were holding hands. We put hands on each other's shoulder and walk home. Holding hands.
I mean, but why hold hands though?
You see, you're asking why about some people's culture.
Oh, yeah, it's a cultural difference. I'm just asking.
Why are you asking why?
I'm asking what's the reason? Like, is
there
reason?
Reason?
There's no reason. I just go ahead and
expressing love. That's how they.
I'm just trying to show you that the reason we see you as an American is because I can describe it. You couldn't deal with it.
But you can say Black American, not Black white American. Is the disconnect?
But my friend, I am you see, here's the problem.
It's a huge disconnect. I am a Black American. I'm not a Black white American. I don't care.
It's a huge disconnect. You are using the word.
You
are disconnected already.
No, you're
when you visit my country, I have to help you understand many things and how to do it. So where is the disconnect?
The disconnect is just how you said the Japanese, they have that term and everybody falls under that foreigner term. It's not, they don't look at Russians and be like, only them are foreigners. The thing is, you're trying, not you, but the culture of the tribe is saying that they have a specific, unique name for one set of people in the diaspora that they don't have for anybody else. Like I asked you, what do they call the Caribbeans? Are the
Caribbeans are not living in the white man's country.
So what do they call them?
Huh?
Do they have a name? Are they what are they named?
So this is the confusion, right? Until they say I'm Jamaican. As long as they speak with a different accent in English, we simply would say the same thing until they say, no, I'm from Jamaica. We didn't know about Jamaica and all these things. You must understand. We didn't.
You're still not answering the question, though.
Yes, we did not know about the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
Our high school books didn't teach us about Caribbean. Wouldn't you understand? We thought the people they took from the continent, the first place we all know they went to, that is why most of you came. W.E.B. was died in Ghana. They didn't go to the Caribbean. They all came to. So we had this connection to learn about these.
Is he saying that the African people in Africa were not taught about the Caribbean? What?
Group of people. But we know also that when they come to Africa, that the way they carry themselves, what they do, different from us. So they are Amaibo, Yovo, black man, white.
I get that.
Not an insult. No.
Black man, white. So they call them Amaibo, black man, white. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
It is.
Well, when
It's not what he's trying to say.
it's not.
He's not trying to make it an insult, G.
Yeah, no, he's not. I'm just saying
It's not an insult.
It's not an insult
You
because
can say it until the cows come. You don't understand. I told you from the beginning. If you come to Ghana right now, my Ghanaian family and friends and neighborhoods will drop everything to protect you more than they will protect a citizen. I've seen it.
Okay.
But you don't appreciate it. And this is the problem that is causing the disconnect you have. No, you don't.
What you mean you don't appreciate it?
You don't, because my Angelo lived in Ghana for 14 years.
Okay.
What did she write about Ghana? Have you read it?
No.
Exactly. But he can quote me all the way to Nazi. Why didn't you read what she said about living in Ghana for 14 years?
So that means
How about W.E.B. Du Bois, who moved to Ghana and died in Ghana? What he wrote about Ghana, did you read it? No, you didn't. How about the myriads of other academics who moved out of this country to Ghana because Ghana was the black star? You know, Nkrumah was the first person to get independence. So everybody thought, whoa, whoa, whoa. So it became a place when Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X met in the elevator and refused to shake hands, which is what hurt Muhammad Ali until he died in Ghana. So you didn't read anybody who went to Ghana or West Africa what they said about that place. So you would have a reason, and you are right, to even understand how the people in Sub-Saharan Africa wanted so much. And then we arrive here. And then we have these kind of feelings, so we don't.
Okay, so what I would say is, because I'm a man and a man of honor and respect, I apologize if I was taken.
You're a good man.
Right?
You're a good man.
But in the same way, I want you to understand, like, I'll even go to the minuscule thing of African booty scratch, whatever the case. How young black kids connect, you guys hold hands, right? Until teenagers, you could be 30 years old holding a man's hand, and that's how you bond, right? But how me and these young black brothers, we crack on each other.
Yeah.
You can
That's
have
our culture.
you can have $1 million, and I'm gonna find a way to make somebody laugh at you. You fucking rich motherfucker, get out of my face. That's what black men do.
It's an African thing.
No, but look, I'm telling you, we cannot distinguish and understand from your culture. I apologize.
Oh, no. You're good. You're good.
We have different
Yeah,
ways.
I'm glad you brought it up because it allows us to know.
Now that's an African thing.
African brothers, and we're cracking jokes at them.
So they're cracking jokes is an African thing now. See, here's the thing.
They have that disdain for us, but that's how we bond.
Yeah, so what he's saying is, in essence, the term African booty scratcher is just like any other thing. Like when I was a kid, you know, I got called chubby, I got called big head, I got called egghead, all that. So I got called Sinbad and Arsenio because I had a high butt. Like that's just part of who we are, because that's not something. What's the word I'm looking for? That's something that's not uniquely ingrained in your culture. It can be a core memory insult to you,
a sign of disrespect,
a sign of disrespect when it's actually a term of endearment. It means that you part of the crew.
Because you go try, but no. The year of return started in 2019 in Ghana.
Yes.
Do you know how many people have gone to Ghana? A lot, including Umar Johnson got a citizenship.
Yep.
Did anybody in Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Togo call y'all by any name as an endearment? You don't call somebody with a name that is among you and you know he doesn't understand. So I understand you've done a good job. And I love
what you said they call us. What's the word you said for the white black man?
Didn't I tell you it's a cultural? We understand you.
Yeah, but
we telling you that it's a cultural thing.
Like,
You are considering just because we said white, meaning that anyone who was not born raised in Africa is from a Western country, and we refer to all Western as Yovo.
Right, and there's no offense meant.
But that's a part of your culture, right?
No.
What you mean? No, that's specific to you and your culture. That's what you call people that's not from Western black people.
A cultural thing. I'm just trying to tell you For people to understand the distinction and treat this person differently because he's not from here. He's a black Westerner. Right. But Western is usually when you use it, you're talking about European countries. Right. So that's it. It allows us to know that this person can do no wrong because he's not from here.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Look, you want to really understand, then you got to refuse to have these conclusions and all that. Steve Harvey went to Ghana. He come back with a big pants on. Did he do a segment to just enlighten anybody here? No, he didn't. And go down the list of those of them who've gone there, shook hands with President Harvey, and then come back and don't say anything. Correct. Why don't they build a bridge? Why don't they build a disconnect and say, guys, look at the way I was treated, man. I just came here. Look at the way I was treated. Umar Johnson, with his head smaller at the top and big at the bottom, went to Ghana, got a citizenship, and grabbed the microphone asking for, where are my wives at? Where are my wives at? Is that a respectful thing to do in a country that gave you citizenship? We didn't say anything wrong against him. He's walking around making money, calling himself Prince of Pan-Africanism. Do you know where Pan-Africanism is? It's in Africa. He hijacked it. Have you heard any African tell him?
He's talking about Dr. Umar.
Stop it. No. But
So now he's saying that Umar Johnson, by calling him in the Prince of Pan-Africanism, that, oh, well, where is Africa? Well, no, the Pan-Africanism started in America, not Africa.
If I say one thing about African Americans, you're looking down upon us. You're doing this upon us. Let's stop it. Especially for people like us who are more sophisticated.
Oh, trust me.
I came here because he made an impression.
And they're
on
more
me.
sophisticated? Did he just say us that are more sophisticated? Hold on. Let me slow this down because he's saying a lot of stuff and kind of like cutting into. Hold on, let me slow this down a little bit because I'm like, what? Hold on. Because his accent is real.
All Western as your vote.
Right. And there's no offense meant.
But that's a part of your culture, right?
No.
What you mean no? That's specific to you and your culture. That's what you call people that's not from Western black people, right?
A cultural thing. I'm just trying to tell you, for people to understand the distinction and treat this person differently because he's not from here. He's a black Westerner. Right. But Western is usually when you use it, you're talking about European countries. Right. So that's it. It allows us to know that this person can do no wrong because he's not from here.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Look, you want to really understand, then you got to refuse to have these conclusions and all that. Steve Harvey went to Ghana. He come back with a big pants on. Did he do a segment to just enlighten anybody here? No, he didn't. And I can go down the list of those of them who've gone there, shook hands with President Harvey, and then come back and don't say anything.
Correct.
Why don't they build a bridge? Why don't they build a disconnect and say, guys, look at
Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, I'm here live and direct. Like, one thing about me, right? I don't care where I'm at. I don't care who feel offended. Can you see me, DJ Genesis?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, I can see you.
How you doing? There's a what?
Yeah,
I can't hear you. Say that again.
You're playing it on like another browser. Just cut that one off and then only play the StreamYard. Because it's like echoing.
No, I'm coming straight from y'all.
Oh, okay.
You want me to log out and come back in?
No, I'm gonna be quiet.
I think what you gotta just mute yourself.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, cool. First and foremost, I give all praise and honor to York, the supreme intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They were striving for righteousness' sake. I say into the family, Shalom Aleichem. Listen, I'm gonna get straight to the point. We're not gonna sit up here and play games. This is a total disrespectful man. You know what I mean? I've seen many of his dialogues. He just got crushed. Shout out to my homie from Rich Island Projects in Philly, Pennsylvania, the brother with the dreads. He crushed that dude. But let's get straight to the point. So we talking about what is culture, right? Because the argument is that Black Americans don't have culture. This is what you're constantly hearing. But when we come on the ground in Africa, what we seeing is them imitating us. So what is culture? Culture is a shared learned system of beliefs right? Values, customs, behaviors, and artifacts that characterize a group or society, acting as a blueprint for their way of life, guiding interactions and shaping their worldview from language and food to morals and art. It's not innate, but acquired through socialization. That's key. Consistently evolving and distinguishes one group from another. So that's Bill. That's Bill. So when cats talk about so-called Black Americans don't have no culture, I'm on the continent of Africa building as a social anthropologist. And when you look at the culture of 94% of the people in the continent, number one, most of these cultures was developed within the past 1,000 years to now. That's a fact. That's number one. Most people or most tribes in the continent of Africa where they reside at, that's not their original demarcation station. That's number two. One of the problems within African or continental African cultures is that they don't evolve. They stay stagnant. When you look at the Black American experience, you're actually seeing our culture evolving. Like, for instance, listen to what it says. It says culture is a shared learned system of beliefs. Learned system. We're talking social behavior. This is why I'm breaking down that we, the foundational Black American, the original tribe of Judah, we did produce a new ethnogenesis. We did produce that. When you look at our mannerisms, our behavior, the way we deal with society, the way we just move, cook, dress, dance, you can clearly see that we created a whole nother culture, so to say, that differs from these people, man. And when we come over here to the continent of Africa, all I see is continental Africans imitating Black Americans. I'm on the continent. I've been to 17 African countries, and I'm seeing the same thing. And I'm also seeing an underhandingness when it comes to how they deal with us. How they deal with us. When I'm over here in Tanzania right now. Over here, all I see is on bajajis, which is like little taxi cab. All I see is Tupac, Biggie, KRS-One. All I'm seeing is people that represent Black American culture. That's all I see. People ask me, why you want to come? And I understand they got these arguments. Yeah, you know, America's the land of opportunity, this, that, the third. You see how the Somalians just got exposed because they was in secret meetings and didn't know that they was being recorded, and how they said their objective is to come and infiltrate and push out Black Americans and take our place. This is what they said out their own mouth. So when people sit up here and say there isn't a disdain for Black Americans, and the nerve of this man to come on here and say we have no culture and this, that, when you say people have no culture, basically you saying we are no people. We just savages, we subhuman. This is what this man is saying without saying the words. To say that how can we exist without having a culture when culture is social behavior? You see how oxymoronic this dude sound? Culture is a shared, learned system of beliefs. We jump the broom, our slang, the way we move, how we define life. When you go to any urban city, I don't care if you're talking Philly, New York, Jersey, Detroit, Baltimore, wherever, we all share certain things that are common. If I go to DJ Genesis right now, family reunion, and then she come to my family reunion, we comfortable. No matter if she from over Detroit, Chicago area, in that area, and I'm from Philly. We have a common thread, even though certain things may vary because we from different states, different towns, different cities. But at the end of the day, we have a common thread. We have a common system of beliefs. We know that we don't disrespect women. We respect the elders in our community. I don't care. Like, for instance, I don't care where you from. Back in the day, if I'm doing something wrong on the street and Miss Betty see me, that's my ass gonna get whooped. And that occurred where DJ Genesis was from, where any of y'all was from the United States. We all had that common thread that the next door neighbor can whoop your behind if you out of pocket. That was in our culture. For y'all, yo, I'm pissed off for y'all to sit up here and try to justify that Black Americans don't have no culture. And we've been the spearhead of everything in existence when it came to the 19th, 20th, and 21st century. For y'all to sit up here, all the prominent scholars come from out of Black American experience. All of them. Whereas though, look at your Dr. John Herbert Clarks. Look at your Chancellor Williams, your Ben Amis, your Prince Hassan, your Yahweh Ben Yahweh, your Elijah Muhammad's. Come on, man. Come on, your sweet daddy Grace, your father divine, father-in-law Clarence 13X. There's never, Noble Dwally, there has never ever in the existence of the African experience in Africa experience like Black American experience. Why you think any revolutionary movement, they imitate Black Americans? It's always been Black Americans that been the best Pan-Africans, the best Muslims, the best Christians, the best Jews. I'm pissed off for that man to sit up there and say we don't have no culture, and for y'all to agree with that. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's why a lot of y'all need to be G-checked. Because y'all just coming up here saying, yeah, I agree with him. They don't have any culture. What kind of wicked shit is it? Y'all basically saying we not humans. That's what y'all saying. Culture is a learned system of beliefs, values, customs, behaviors, and artifacts that characterize a group or society. So you saying we don't have that as Black Americans? Say that this don't act as a blueprint for our way of life. You trying to say that God's actions shape our world view from language and food to morals? Oh, they speak English, man. Look, in Haiti, they speak Creole and French. We all been colonized by the beast, but it was different ways. But the difference is we had to look at the the devil straight in his face. Who the one that put pants on that devil so you can identify who the devil is? We did that. Who enhanced Islam? Who enhanced the Kemetic thought like experience? Black Americans did that. We did that. And when you start talking about, music, you trying to say that the songs of Zion, now known as gospel music, didn't influence Black Americans all throughout the Caribbean, all throughout Africa. When you look at them African Zionists, we had gospel music too. Yeah, we had Gothic too. Yeah, we created that. Punk music. Watch this. Yeah, and when you break down South African music, a lot of their music was influenced by house music. House music, and this is no disrespect to nobody, but the facts is the facts. House music was created by Black homosexuals in Chicago. This is fact, because it was an off branch of disco music. And when you start talking about hip hop, you talking about funk music. They up here trying to tell us breakdancing came from Africa. No, it did not. Stop lying. Stop lying. Rap come from out of Toasting, and Toasting come from Jamaica. No, it don't. Toasting come from down south. And Jamaicans, they adopted it once the British gave y'all free radios and all that, and y'all start tapping in to Jocko the Bear Henderson and all them down south disc jockeys. Toasting is meaning flaming cats and rhyming and all that. We've been doing that. Talking about, y'all got the sound system from Jim. No, we did not. Oh, Kool Herc brought hip hop to Black Americans. No, he did not. How Kool Herc bring hip hop to Black Americans before he was a DJ? This man was running around being a b-boy and a graffiti artist. So if hip hop didn't exist, what was he being a b-boy of? Same with Grandmaster Flash. They all learned from DJ John Brown, a Black American, DJ Disco King Mario. That John Brown came around in the 60s. The real Grandmaster was Grandmaster Flowers, not Grandmaster Flash. They took that picture in the source and threw that up there and told y'all they the pioneers of hip hop, and y'all ran with that. The pioneers of hip hop was created by young Spades and baby Spades from out of the black Spades that came out of the southeast section of the Bronx and Bronxdale projects in 1968. That's a fact. The original Zulu Nation did not come from out of New York with African Bambaataa. The original Zulu Nation came out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1966.
Brother,
you said a lie. No, don't. Let me build this. You said a lie, bro. Yo, take them off, DJ Genesis. This is my show. Y'all ain't gonna come up here and talk about we. No, get off the show. I'll take you off the show. I ain't playing games. Man, what you mean talk about Jamaicans? What you mean? Jamaicans is running around. Oh, you say it's a lie? That dude Busta Rhymes lied and said that hip hop comes from Jamaica. I know about Mental. Mental don't have nothing to do with hip hop, and I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to. Nigga, please, I'll burn you the fuck out, nigga. Ain't no lies. Jamaicans did not start hip hop. Hip hop was already in effect when Kool Herc came. Kool Herc came into, do you know the history of Kool Herc? Since you sitting up here talking shit, do you know the history of Bambaataa and Grandmaster Flash? You don't know shit. I'm in direct contact. Hold on. I'm in direct contact with the founders of hip hop. I know Charlie Rock. I know Coke Rock Pop directly. I got shows and interviews with these people online. Don't sit up here and tell. I know Trixie, Sasa, all of them. The original B-boys ain't had nothing to do with no goddamn Puerto Ricans. Y'all lying. The original B-boys, they were all black Americans, and then y'all learned. The original hustle was created by black Americans, and y'all just called it Latin hustle. Y'all not gonna keep taking shit from us and think we won't smother your head to the ground. You don't know who you talking to. You don't know history because you ain't on the ground, young boy. I'm an old head in this, and I'm telling you, hip hop started from foundational black Americans, just like all the genre music started from us, and then y'all took it, and then y'all laid claim to it as if it's y'all's. Come on, stop fucking tethering over here. You can't come over here on this show and come at us and disrespect us. Say we have no culture, we have no history, we gave y'all everything. We died in that fucking country while we was over there fighting the white beast. Y'all was in your own little countries doing whatever y'all was doing. Y'all up there on the 14th Amendment that was created in 1868 for black slaves, former black slaves. Ain't had nothing to do with no fucking immigrants. Stop lying. All the game, y'all need to be severed from out of this conversation. Let us deal with our own backyard. Y'all take everything from us. Oh, 1 minute y'all praise us, and then y'all turn around and say we lie. I challenge any of y'all. Show me that Jamaicans created hip hop. Show me that Puerto Ricans created hip hop. You can't prove that shit, but I can show you that foundation. The whole cultural expression was foundational black Americans. The jive talk. Go get Cab Calloway. The word hip hop itself is foundational black American. Stop lying. DJ Genesis, don't put these cornballs on when I'm talking, because they don't know real history. When you look at JoJo, when you look at Crazy Legs, the whole Rocksteady crew, don't make me bring up videos where they said that hip hop was created by black Americans and that Kool Herc brought it up to the surface. And now the nigga done got a check and sold his fucking soul, and now he's saying different shit. Stop lying. Y'all lying, man. And I'm telling you, continental Africans, for the most part, don't fuck with black Americans. I'm on the ground. I see it. I see it. You telling me my eyes is lying? Don't make me bring out cats over here that got married to these people and got scammed out of money, out of land, out of all kinds. These women over here already be married and be marrying foundational black American men as a fucking scam. Stop lying. They don't know shit, Genesis, because they don't really travel. We've been hiding that shit for years. They're not pan-Africanists over here, man. For the most part, they're pan-tribalists. Stop lying. Enough is enough. You think Sinetta named me the mighty Hebrew from that? I'll do a PowerPoint right now. I'll fucking destroy you, man. I'll destroy you. You don't know history. Look at all your revolutionary organizations in Africa. Who did they parachurch after? They looked at the Black American experience. Even that dumbass fool Frank told you that. Tell me I agree with him. How the fuck can you agree with that? You trying to say we don't have no socialization? Our culture is constantly evolving. That's why they can't keep up with us. They coaches over here don't fucking evolve. They don't.
Well, hey, can I
They
ask a
don't
question
evolve. Yeah, yes, sir, brother.
What's going on? Hey, man, mighty
Hebrew, bro. I'm just tired of these motherfuckers. They don't got nothing to do with everybody on the panel. Nothing. If they not, I'm just tired of. I'm telling you what I see on the ground, and for them to sit up here and say this is not true, man. Listen. My wife got sick with cancer. We put in over 108,000 USD, and these people over there fucked our business up when we had the Dada's Bar and Grill because they were jealous of us. Not the locals, but it was the local freaking stores and other nightclubs. They was hating on us because we was foreigners and we were Black Americans, man. I'm telling you what they do not speak. They do not speak. Mute all they shit. But I'm gonna pass to the brother. Go ahead, brother. What you saying? Genesis.
There's a feedback. There's a feedback. Every time someone says something, it sounds like hell. So you might have to drop down and come back up because anytime someone says something, it sounds really crazy. All right. Hello, check 1, check 2. I don't know what that was. What was that? Every time somebody would say something, it was it sounded crazy. All right, so hopefully he'll come back. Okay. All right. All right. Say something. All right. Is this me? Is it mine? Say something. Does that thing? Maybe it's what it is. You know what?
Hello?
Yeah. Is everybody here?
Is it feedback?
You know, I mean,
I still hear feedback.
You hear that?
Yeah, I hear that.
What the fuck is that about? I'm like,
That's the power that be. Because I'm slaying this motherfucker.
but you know what? Maybe,
Can you hear my voice?
go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Y'all, I can hear you.
Perfect. You can hear me clearly though, without no mess.
Y'all, I can hear you clear. I can hear you clear, bro.
Okay. This is the part where we have to actually get into reasoning now, because there's a lot of stuff you said that was wrong. You said when Jamaicans was freed by the British, who was listening to radio and got toasting from Black American music. That is wrong. We've had that since the 1700s in Jamaica. That comes from slavery in Jamaica. We had spirituals in Jamaica since the 1700s. See, all this stuff y'all like to say credit for a lot of. What is that?
Listen, I'm talking about the style. Bro, not me, man. Listen, that what you tried to bring up, I am telling you the way that we toast over here in America, in the United States, is the foundation of what you hear toasting in hip hop. See, what you trying to do is, hold up. I am telling you, okay, watch this, bro. Let's do this. What did Kool Herc bring? We go, because remember, the argument amongst Jamaicans that claim that hip hop came from Jamaicans.
Forget about hip hop.
By the way, hold on, bro. Hold on, no. We're gonna break this down piece by piece. No. Yo. I am telling you when you listen to no, hold on. No, we're not talking lies. Because right now I could put your elders up out of their own mouths that created sky music that they found day
storytelling.
Hold on. No. You're not. Hold on. All right, let's set this down. Yo, DJ Genesis. Let's put his elders up. No, we ain't got to argue that. We're gonna argue. We're gonna show you with your elders. We're gonna show you. We're gonna show you with the people that created. No. I'm not gonna let you talk. You're not gonna say nothing until I'm done. We're gonna no. What we're gonna do is break it down. Yo, you don't control nothing on here. DJ Genesis, that's my people. Yo, you know what, man? I don't give a fuck who you are. This is my show. You on my line.
I just want an echo chamber.
No. You're on. You want to see if you on my line or not? This is my. You don't know who Genesis is to me. Shut up. You on my shit talking shit. Now let's break down piece by piece what you said. Your argument is that toasting go back to the 1700s. No, it does not. Toasting was born out of things previous. When you look at the style of toasting or roasting, that shit go back to down south. This is a fact. When you look at,
you're lying.
No. You keep saying I'm wrong, but your elders are saying I'm right. Okay, listen. Don't tell me. I've been to Jamaica. What are you talking about? Don't tell me nothing about no fucking Jamaicans, bro. I warned against the Jamaicans when we were fighting the Charlotte Posse out there in Philly, dog. Don't tell me shit about no fucking Jamaicans, dog. You a young boy to me. You don't know shit. And I'm telling you that they don't have nothing to do with hip hop. Jamaicans don't have nothing. All that when you talk about the merry-go-round, when you talk about the you know how you talk about the merry-go-round and all that was created by Cool. Yo, you know that the merry-go-round, it wasn't called the merry-go-round. I'm talking straight to you. Who the fuck is Genesis? Take him off the show. Fuck all this shit. Yo, get him off the show. Oh, no, don't take him off. Muting. What I'm telling you is that when you talk about this stuff, notice how he trying to go somewhere where nobody can grab it. Hip hop came out of the civil rights movement and the Black Power movement, man. Stop fucking lying, dog. When you look at the foundation, so listen, let's do this. Let's listen to what your elders say. The founders of Sky Music. This is what they say out there. Hold on. No. I talked to some of the pioneers in Jamaica of this music, and they said out there, oh my, come on, dog. No, because you're sitting up here, you're making up history, dog. Hip hop. No, you can't. No, you can't. Genesis, mute him else, I'm gonna leave. Yo, mute him else, I'm gonna leave. No. Who are you talking to?
You want to echo?
Who the fuck is you talking to? You disrespecting elders. Get off the fucking panel. If you're not going to respect your elders. Get off the fucking panel, nigga. Fuck out of here. I don't respect these motherfucking tethers that come on out. He's a fucking tether. Who the fuck is this nigga? Fuck him. Now, this is what I'm saying. I am telling you that your own pioneers, fuck the bullshit. If you go right now, DJ Genesis, to something called The Culture 1971, we got their own pioneers that created Sky Music and all that dance hall shit. And they tell you, we learned from Black Americans. We were imitating Black Americans. They was imitating Nat King Cole. They was imitating the Four Tops. Look at Bob Marley. Before he was this Bob Marley, remember he was the Wellers. He was trying to imitate the Four Tops and the Temptations and all them different people. These is facts, man. And then even they break down the sound of the beat when they play the acoustic. They show you how they originally was playing it the way Black Americans was playing it. But then as time developed, they wind up just removing one of the notes and creating their own sound. They tell you this out of their own mind. That's why I respect the elders in Jamaica, because the elders in Jamaica, they not like these young people. Y'all lying, man. Pete Rock is a fucking liar. Evil D is a liar. Buster is a liar. Fat Joe is a liar, man. These guys are liars. You want to know why? Because we can go to old information from these same people that'll let you know that it was created by Black Americans. Look at the way they dress. They didn't teach us how to be cool. We taught them how to be cool. The Puerto Ricans, them dudes was doing salsa and merengue, man. I'm telling you facts, man. I'm telling you facts. What we know as hip hop, gang culture, man. Hip hop was created a Pacific gang, the Black Spades. If I'm lying, why ain't no gangs in New York saying that what the Black Spades is saying is incorrect? I know DJ FaZe personally. I know Young Black Jack. I know Green Eye Genie, Green Eye Stan. He the one that made Timberlands popular. Y'all don't know shit about hip hop. The wearing the Puma sweatsuits and the Adidas sweatsuits and all that shit come from Green Eye Stan. I got Bambaataa out of his own mouth telling you that the pioneer of hip hop is DJ Disco King Mario. I know DJ Disco King Mario's daughter Mina personally. You can't tell me nothing about no damn hip hop, and I'm going directly to the people of hip hop. You can't tell me that graffiti was started by some Puerto Ricans when in fact we got people that came from Philadelphia, PA. Yeah, I mean, teaching Taki and all them cats. Don't tell me coming from out of 32nd and Dime. That come from out of black gangs of Philly graffiti in the 1940s. And then Cornbread in 1965 made it into an artistic form, and that's why he's known as the godfather of graffiti. Y'all don't know shit, man. And then you got to look at who we talking to. People that don't respect our elders. These guys is tethers, man. Listen, you know how you know we telling the truth? Because when you look, this is how the Jamaican sound got into hip hop, bro. Kool Herc wasn't playing none of that stuff. DJ Genesis, he wasn't playing none of that stuff. The Fat Boys are the first ones that brought that sound. The Fat Boys and a guy by the name of Shine. Don't give me that crack, don't give me that. And then you see NWA later on and KRS-One and all that bringing that sound. Listen to my 9mm go bang. But before all that, you ain't never hear none of that stuff in hip hop. That was brought into hip hop. So this guy don't know what he talking about, man. We had all the 5 elements of hip hop before it became codified in the southeast section of the Bronx, out of Bronxdale Project. It don't come from no fucking Kool Herc, man. Y'all going with that narrative that in 1973 that the first party was at Kool Herc's house. Don't make me bring DJ FaZe here, one of the founders of hip hop. Hip hop was created by, DJ Genesis. Hip hop was created by pre-teens that were known as the Little Rascals from out of Bronxdale Projects. And they became absorbed into the Black Spades, and they were known as Baby Spades. You had a boy by the name of Little Drummer Boy, or Booby, who today is known as DJ FaZe. He is the one that started messing with the one turntable. We talking about 1969, 1970, playing with the drums and all that. With DJ Disco King, he was a direct understudy of DJ Disco King Mario. These are facts, man. They try to lie and say DJ Disco King Mario was half Puerto Rican when he wasn't. His family had to come out and say, these are lies. The reason why he got the name Mario, because my mama just liked that name. My Ima just liked that name. They tried to tell you Trixie was Puerto Rican. Trixie had to come on and say, he's the founder of original breakdancing known as Burning. We did, that stuff come out of gang culture, man, particularly the Black Spades. What if they try to bring in the ghetto boys and the Ghetto Brothers and all that. Them dudes was trying to be, what's them dude, the Beatles and all that. Go listen to the music of the late 60s and 70s of the Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans. Go look at some of them old videos and you will see that they didn't have nothing to do with hip hop, man. All you got to do is look at it. It came out of Black American gang culture, specifically the Black Spades,
So who
was a
Maxine Powell?
preteen.
Who is Maxine Powell?
What this got to do with hip hop, dog?
They literally
You just
was
come out of
teaching
nowhere.
black folks
Who
how
is
to act like
Maxine?
white
I
people.
don't argue. I don't argue without facts.
So
Look,
y'all
I'm putting up the
imitated
facts
white
right now.
folks,
Watch
and you
this.
talk about we
Yo,
imitated black folks.
excuse me,
Get
DJ
some real
Genesis.
history.
Could you real quick? Could you real quick
Maxine
type in
Powell.
Jamaican Pioneer?
Y'all was imitating white
Can you,
people.
I know who Maxine Powell, but
And y'all
that
was
ain't got nothing
imitating
to do
them.
with what I'm
Y'all
talking
was
about.
conking your
Yo,
hair.
mute
All that
him.
stuff. Y'all was
Mute
imitating
him.
white folks.
Mute him. Y'all got the afro. Mute
You
him.
lie.
Y'all got the afro style. Y'all got the afro style from Black Americans, the resistant movements from Black Americans. All right, watch this. With resistant movement that's powerful, that had the high sciences that you see in Black Americans that Jamaicans created.
Oh, you want me to look up Jamaican what?
Nothing. Listen, when we look for instance, the nation gods and earth, I'm just going to use that as just one out of many examples. The nation gods and earth is an off branch of the Nation of Islam that came from Clans 13X, whose law. When you look at the B-boy stands, that's the 5% stand, man. That's a Black American stand. The way we was dressing, the sweatsuits, all that shit come from Black Americans, man. Dressing cool, dressing fly, our job talk, all that. The dominant culture of the time is Black American culture. You got James Brown, you got the Last Poets, and remember the Puerto Rican boy, he came later. The founder of the Last Poets, I know him personally. He's a Hebrew Israelite elder of mine. His slave name is David Nelson, but his Hebrew name is Zaquin Adam Zaquin Dawid ben Yisrael. I brought him on he's the leader and the founder of the Last Poets. I brought him on the score. And when you hear the Last Poets, they was already rhyming. They was already in the revolution. We had the Black Panthers. They made the Young Lords. Everything we did, they imitated that, man. When I was coming up in the 70s and 80s and going to school with Puerto Ricans and all that, they wasn't dressing like us. I'm from Philly. I'm right next door to New York. Even when I was going back and forth up top to New York, to the Apple and all that, they wasn't dressing like us, man. We always been fly, man. We always been fly. We are the dominant culture. So naturally, we would influence them. Like if you go to Puerto Rico right now, the only hip hop you see, you could clearly see that it came from the States there. But if you look around, you can see that there is no influences of hip hop around. That's how you know that hip hop didn't come from Puerto Rico. You could clearly see hip hop did not come from Jamaica. The pioneers, you can go right on the culture, look at the pioneers of the modern day Jamaican sound, and they say, yo, the truth is our sound comes from Black American sound. The Motown, all that stuff come from out of Motown, man. That's a fact. You got to look at the political uprising that was going on in the 60s to understand hip hop, man. You got to look at the Black Power movement, foundational Black Americans. When you look at the Civil Rights movement, foundational Black Americans. Even when you look at the Immigration Act of 1965, that came because of the blood, sweat, and tears of foundational Black Americans, the so-called African Americans, the tribe of Judah. That ain't had nothing to do. No immigrants. They wasn't over here dying in the drones like Black Americans. The problem I have is for him to come into our world and be disrespectful. Who the fuck is this dude? That's like me coming into his home disrespecting him, or coming on his platform disrespecting him. This is what these guys do. They tether on different people. DJ Genesis, you family, you my family. We don't know these people. They just tethering on, jumping on platforms and just saying what they want to say out their mouth. The 1700s have nothing to do with toasting that was developed in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. Just like we talk about breakdancing, you can go to 1934 videos, you see us breakdancing in the United States. You go back to 1946 with the Noah song, you already see us rap. We have receipts, they don't have receipts. They just got, this guy said this guy said that. We can show constant old footage. Don't make me have DJ Genesis real quick. Throw up Trixie, the founder of breakdancing. Just type that in and share that. Just type in Trixie, right? Trixie, the founder of breakdancing, like 2 minutes. And he's the creator of breakdancing. He created it. But y'all gonna sit up here and say, oh no, it was Puerto Ricans. This dude came before. The original first B-boys were all Black Americans. We talking about Trixie. A1 Star Child Sasa, the original Star Child, not Star Child LaRock. That term Star Child LaRock was a collaboration of 2 names, the Black American Coke LaRock and the Black American B-boy dancer, A1 Star Child Sasa. So you got Sasa, Trixie, James Bond, the Nigger Twins, right? You got all these different people, Dancing Doug. These were all FBA. Even when you look at the Zulu Kings that came later, the original Zulu Kings were 5 Zulu masters. They were all Black Americans. And then you get the 11 Zulu Kings. 10 of them were Black Americans. 1 was a Black Dominican, which made the 11 Zulu Kings. When you look at Bambaataa, and you in South Africa that's pushing that lie, saying that Bambaataa got his name Zulu from he came to South Africa and got the name Zulu and got initiated. And then from there, no, you're going to get that on YouTube. I want them to see the YouTube. I want them to see the elders directly. That's how we source up over here. We ain't going to sit up here and talk. You're going to go on YouTube and type in Trixie, the founder of breakdance. And I'm looking at it right now. It's right here. Come on. So what I'm saying is, Bambaataa got his name Zulu from being inspired by the movie, the 1964 movie Zulu by Michael Caine. He tell you this out of his own mouth when he was on Live. See, what I do is I'll read your elders, right? I'll resurrect. Yeah, there it is right there. What's that right there? Is that Trixie? You just go and type Trixie, the founder of breakdancing. That's what you're going to do. Just type in Trixie, the founder of breakdancing. That's one of the reunions. No, but just go into your search in your YouTube, because these are pioneers of hip hop. They trying to take away the Black American. I'm telling you. Why are they arguing about these? If you notice, we're being tethered on all sides. Look at this, DJ Genesis. Black Americans that push the Hebrew Israelite understanding all throughout America, right? Later, Hispanics got involved. After the Hispanics got involved, you had those from Ancient Watchmen and other Hispanics that turned around and disdained Black Americans, saying that they were descendants of the cursed seed of Canaan and that only Hispanics and Indians are the real Israelites. Now, isn't it funny that it was Black Americans that taught them about the Israelite culture? Then they turn around and say that we're not the Israelites and that they're the Israelites. There it is right there. Turn that up. Turn that up. Let the people hear this. Put the sound on real quick. Start.
Okay.
Now, we put it to you straight up. There wasn't no Puerto Ricans.
Wasn't no Puerto Rican.
Coming
Wow.
to the parties.
Okay. So wasn't no Puerto Rican breakdancers.
There wasn't no Puerto Rican.
But you say you started it.
I started, and I'm not Puerto Rican.
You're not Puerto Rican.
I'm not Puerto Rican.
Wow.
I am Black and proud.
Okay.
My mama's from North Carolina, and my daddy's from South Carolina.
Okay, salute. Salute.
Stop that real quick. Stop that. So come on, man. This is the direct founder. These are facts, yo. And he's going to tell you, he's going to be like, I'm Black and I'm Indian. And you got to understand when he's saying India, because most Black Americans, when you talk to them, they be like, I got Indian in them. Like on my mother's side, there's Cherokee amongst my mother's people. So you'll hear Black people like, yeah, I got Indian in me. You understand what I'm saying? So that man is like, I'm not Puerto Rican. But they was lying, saying that Trixie was Puerto Rican. They were saying that Sasa was Puerto Rican. They lied and said that Coke LaRock was half Jamaican. Coke LaRock said, I ain't half Jamaican. My father from Trenton, New Jersey, and my mother from North Carolina. Like all these elders that they lied on and tried to say they had some type of Caribbean heritage came out and said none of that shit is true. None of it is true. Because y'all got to remember DJ Disco King Mario, he died in 1994. So he wasn't able to put his business. Let's look at it from what it is. Look, DJ Disco King Mario, he found what was known as the Chuck Chuck City Crew. When you look at all these, when it was all one and then it broke down into crews, notice that all these crews are former black spades. You talk about the Casanovas, former black spades. Chuck Chuck City Crew, former black spades. All these segments of different crews that broke down after the gangs and created these crews, they were all former black spades. These are facts, man. These are facts. You can't run it hot. Play it. Start it from the beginning again. Play it again. We going to the founder of breakdancing.
Okay. So we did all that. Okay. Now, we put it to you straight up. There wasn't no Puerto Ricans.
Wasn't no Puerto Rican.
Coming to the parties.
Okay. There wasn't no Puerto Rican breakdances.
There wasn't no Puerto Rican.
But you saying you started it.
I started. And I'm not Puerto Rican.
You're not Puerto Rican?
I'm not Puerto Rican.
Wow.
I am black and proud.
Okay.
My mama's from South North Carolina, and my daddy's from South Carolina.
Okay, salute,
we black,
salute.
We Indian.
My mama's from South North Carolina, and my daddy's from South Carolina. Okay, salute.
So he's lying. So he lying, huh? Anybody that know about hip hop and they talk about break dancing, the first people you're going to talk about is Trixie. It's Trixie. He was already dropping to the floor. He was already spinning on his head in 1970, man. He was already doing that. What are you talking about, man? He was doing that. We not talking about, listen, when you look at James Brown, you got to remember these young spades and these baby spades, they were influenced by funk music, the Black Power movement, and the Civil Rights movement. They was influenced by Pygmy Marham with the song Here Comes the Judge, 1968, 1969, that number. The Noah song, 1945 by the Jubilees. They was influenced by rap music from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. They ain't got none of that. Watch this. Type in this. Type in Jamaican reggae pioneers say they were influenced by black music. Type that in. We gonna go to the pioneers out of their own mouth, man. We ain't got to listen to these guys coming on telling us that ain't true. That ain't true. All right, then, well, let's see what the pioneers say out their mouth. And call them lies. I resurrect your elders. That's what I do. I resurrect your elders and make you debate your elders. Don't come debating us. First, debate your elders. Before you come debating us, debate your elders and say, well, why your elders say Jamaican reggae pioneers talk about African American influences. Matter of fact, let me get it so I can be totally correct. Like, don't let them people tell you, oh no, you ain't got no culture, you ain't got no history, you ain't there. It is right there. Turn that. Turn that.
We would listen to a Dionne Warwick song and try to sing it exactly as Dionne did it. If you are a group, you would try to study the Supremes, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. If there was a group who comes from abroad to our shores, we would want to go and see them because they have something to teach us.
It all came from the American R&B music, you know, because we're always being influenced by the Impressions, all them soul R&B groups.
we start imitating the rhythm and blues songs. Like say, Smiley Lewis or Professor.
Stop. Now, you gotta hear this. This is out of their own mouths, man. They telling you that they was influenced by American music and they specify R&B. Then they start saying how, you know, they was feeling their oppression and what they was going through. This is what they saying out of their own mouth. I got to keep stopping it from time to time. So, see, we talking about source material. We going to the founders of Sky Music and all that stuff y'all dealing with, right? That's what we going to do. We going to put it out there. Since you sitting up here saying, oh, y'all lying, y'all saying this, press play, DJ Genesis.
Along here, Louis Jordan, and you know, those kind of beat, we try to imitate it.
When we was playing the boogie woogie and the shuffle and thing like that, we realized that we were definitely swatting or copying the American stuff. We did some rhythm and blues, tried to copy the rhythm and blues with that driving beat.
It was all about rhythm and blues.
Stop, man, stop, come on, man. I'm not making this up. I'm going to your people. I'm going directly to your people.
Okay,
Put that back up.
Are you gonna interrupt me?
No. After your elders, after your elders, this is all I want you to address. After your elders say what they say, I want you to debate your elders.
No,
before you can come,
you're saying it without context.
No, I'm saying before you get to what I'm saying to you, young brother. Listen, I don't care about. I'm talking about the pioneers. I'm talking about the pioneers of your town. No snippets. I'm saying what they're saying.
That's what children do.
No. I don't know you. I don't know you. And when you came on here, you want to know why I'm coming at you like that? Because when you came on here, you came on here hostile. When you first came, you didn't come like the other brother did. When the other brother came, he talked with respect, but he fell off. And you seen, he calmed down. But you, I don't even know you. I don't even fucking know you, dog. This is my show. This is my, no. People around the world know who I am. People around the, you type me up, people around the world know who I am. I don't know who you are. Millions of people know who the mighty. No. What I want you to do after Genesis finished throwing up with your people said, I want you to discuss with your people. I want you to resurrect your people. Hold on. How can you even come to us? No, this is my argument with you, bro. How can you come to us and argue with us when you haven't even argued with your own people? Why is the pioneers of Jamaican Sky dance hall music? Press play. We supposed to go to the source. No, you're not being honest because of the simple fact. Mute him again. Mute him, Genesis. Fuck that. I don't fuck with you for the simple fact that the way you came on and you ain't know you was gonna get that smoke like that. You thought you was just talking to some nut ass nigga. Now, I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't give a fuck who you are. And I don't know you. If you should have came on here with respect, press that play and let your people tell the truth about where they got their sound from. Stop lying.
Bring the cut them cane and things. But while you're there cutting cane, if you buy rhythm and blues, 6 times more money you get because you're going to sell it back to sound system people. So everybody anxious to go to the farmer, but not for cut cane. They want to go buy some record.
Fierce competition, Dodd and Arthur Duke Reid, combining Kingston, and would continue to control the Jamaican music business for the next 15 years.
The reggae artist was rapping on that music back in the 70s and late 60s.
Coxsone sound system was a sort of sound system to create disc jockeys that would use the microphone in between records. All the other DJs before our time, they would only just put on the records or either dance with a girl or drink a beer. But it wasn't anything exciting.
Well, I'm Clement Dodd, better known as Sir Coxsone Downbeat. Master of the Royal Society of Jazz and King of Sound System.
Stop. Stop. You don't get struck. So after this, we got listen. These dudes is coming from different musical societies and all that. This dude right here, he's the founder of the sound systems over there in Jamaica. And he's going to tell you where he got the sound systems from. He's going to tell you when he was going to Florida and when he would take his breaks off from work, he was going to like these different juke joints, these southern juke joints, and they learned how to make the sound systems from the jukeboxes, man, from the Black American jukeboxes, man. Press play.
Well, yes, we had Martha Richards radio, and we used to listen to the foreign station a lot, like Voice of America, listening to people like Billy Eckstein and Sierra Vaughan, Lionel Lampton, Louis Jordan, you know.
So where did you get the idea to go to America?
Well, in the early days, it was a popular thing of the recruiting men for Florida, you know, to either work in fruit or vegetable or the sugar cane.
So did you mix with the Americans at all, or?
Well, at work. Yeah, at work we mix with it. And weekend, you know, when you go partying, you mix a lot with the Americans.
So would the parties be in town, or?
Yes, more, yeah, you'd say in town. It's quite different with the band. Along with a lot of records and stuff like that.
So you knew that was what you were going to do?
Yes, and I sent diagram of how like the box will be built. Then my old lady got involved, gave out the boxes, and she just started. As a matter of fact, she was the very first female DJ in Jamaica. I get ideas from some of the jukebox, you know, to build these boxes with a lot of glass and fancy stuff and writing on it.
Was he speaking?
No, the speaking wasn't really in the swing. I came back and changed that with a lot of toasting, you know.
Did you get that idea from America?
America, right. And then I got together with Count Masuki.
Stop.
And, you know.
Stop. DJ Genesis, what did that man just say out of his mouth?
But he got toasting from America.
He got it from black. He was in Florida. He was going to them juke joints. He was hanging with us. He looked at the Black American, or what they call African American jukeboxes. He took that back to Jamaica and created the sound systems. He said that out of his own mouth, man. He tell you that they was what they would call in patois, swatting, meaning that they were copying off of our sound, man. The foundation of reggae music come from Black American music. This is a fact, man. And for y'all to sit up here and play these games, why y'all elders saying this? I'm going to your elders, man. The founders of ska music. Why? They're going to show you in this same doco piece, they're going to show you how they changed the acoustic, how they was originally dealing with the Black American acoustic sound. And as they developed, they changed one sound to create their own sound. These are facts, man. So you try to tell me that Afrobeat don't go back to funk music? I can prove these things because the founder of it said it. Why would I listen to y'all if I'm going directly to the founder and the founder saying live on video who he was influenced by to create this genre? What are y'all talking about? Hip hop didn't come into Africa until 1983. First it went to Senegal and then it went over there to South Africa. Y'all don't know history. They was being influenced by watching movies like Wild Style, The Warriors, Breaking, Beat Street. Beat Street, a lot of that shit was lies, man. That was like the third generation of hip hop. The first generation was like DJ Disco King Mario, DJ Tex Hollywood, DJ Cool D, the mixologists, all of them. That was like the first wave. Then the second wave was like Cool Herc, Bambaataa, because originally Bambaataa was a savage nomad. They don't know shit. And then he became absorbed into the Black Spade. The Zero on First Division, that came from out of Bronx down. And then they started creating divisions all throughout the Bronx and even as far as other boroughs throughout New York. I'm from Philly, and I know history better than y'all that claim that hip hop started from Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans that claim they from New York. And then I get the pioneer. I just did a show like 8 months ago with Trixie. I just was on with Sasa. I talked to Charlie Rock, man. I talked to these people directly. My old head is Cornbread from out of North Philly. The Godfather of graffiti. Press play. I'll resurrect your elders. You think Sa Nega named me the Mighty Hebrew for nothing? Really know I'll destroy y'all. That's why he stopped that. Because he know how I play. Yo, throw up here, throw it up here.
Just for that difference, this is why we decide to really come up and stick to the scale.
So you thought we want to make something Jamaican?
Some Jamaican sound, true Jamaican sound.
We start imitating the rhythm and blues songs, like say Smiley Lewis or Professor Longyear, Louis Jordan, and those kind of beats. We try to imitate it. It didn't turn out that way, so we decided to keep this as our own type. That's how that can come in.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! It's sad that sister, it's people in the chat, shout out to all of them. They know my work. Some of them on there know my work. And this is what I do. And one of them said, it's sad that it had to come down there. Yeah. They saying we ain't got no culture, DJ Genesis. To say that we have no culture, that's saying we not a people, man. We're nothing. Everybody on the planet got culture except Black Americans, but everybody biting off our shit and laying claim as the man told you just now. He said, yo, we was copying. We was copying off them Black Americans, but we wanted to make it our own. He just said, now watch what these is your elders in Hebrew, your Zakwanim. These are your elders telling you this stuff, man. Are y'all telling me y'all elders is lying? These are the founders of the sound that you listen to today. These are the founders. And you trying to say that's a lie. Busta Rhymes is a fucking liar, man. You think because he Busta Rhymes, I ain't gonna say that? He's a goddamn liar. Evil D, Pete Rock, them dudes is lying. That's why they was hoping for the original pioneers to die. I'm not talking about people that contributed to hip hop. I'm talking about the actual founders of hip hop that are still alive. Said you a motherfucking liar. You a liar. And just like they try to tether the Hebrew Israelite culture with the ancient watchmen and all them different Hispanic anti-black hate movements claiming that the Israelites, right? They trying to tether it away now when you got continental Africans, Black Americans, they ain't got no culture. But your whole sound, the foundation of your whole sound come from us. Y'all ain't know that? Y'all didn't know Afrobeat was founded off of funk music and that the founder said that out of his own mouth? Y'all didn't know that? Y'all didn't know that all the major revolutionary organizations in Africa mimic Black American revolutionary organizations? Y'all ain't know that? Y'all ain't know that the greatest Afrocentric scholars come from Black Americans? Y'all ain't know that? Y'all didn't know that? Y'all didn't know that? Y'all didn't know these? Come on, man. Press play. Watch this. Press play.
Styling like those was really rhythm and blues. What we did to this rhythm and blues is like you'll be doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But this kind of we change it to 1, 2, 3, and then it's more 2, 4, 2, 4 instead of 1.
It is Jamaica's first musical revolution, and we call it ska.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? You heard it. They took the sound of rhythm and blues. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And all they did was take a note away. Come on, man. This is dumb. This is pure fuckery now. This is fuckery, man. Now we're about to get hard on you. Since y'all want to tether and talk all the talk, go to the Culture 1971, Jen. I'm going to bomb y'all up today. I'm in the mood to do that. I'm in the mood to do that. Now, what I want them to do is respond to your elders. These are the founders. They told y'all where the sound system came, that they didn't copy, right? They told y'all that. They told y'all how they were influenced and they was swatting and they was copying from rhythm and blues, Motown, all that. Dionne Warwick, Nat King. They told you, Fats Domino. They let you know all that. They told you that they took the rhythm and blues sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. They changed it. They told you how when they was coming to Florida to get work, that they was going to these joints, juke joints, and they learned about the jukeboxes and took it back to Jamaica and created their sound. They tell you these things. When you look at hip hop and when you look at the sound of funk music and the revolution that was going on in the 60s, listen to the sound in America and then listen to the sound of James Brown. Where's James Brown at in America, in Jamaica at that time in the 60s? James Brown put the fucking funk to that shit. Where's your Parliament Funkadelic? When you look at African Bambaataa, who was he imitating? Parliament Funkadelic. What are y'all talking with the spaceship and Sun Ra? Because Sun Ra believed that he was an incarnation of an Egyptian deity that came from out of the planet Saturn, man. I'm telling you facts. I'm telling you facts. Look at the way Bambaataa was dressing and the Soul Sonic Force. They was dressing like Parliament and coming down with spaceships and all. They were influenced by the funk. They wasn't influenced by nothing in Jamaica. They wasn't influenced by nothing in Puerto Rico. Y'all lying. Go to the culture. Go back to the culture, DJ Genesis. I'm about to spray y'all with an AK, a knowledgeable AK. Cause y'all don't know nothing. Don't make me call DJ Phase on here. Don't make me call DJ Disco King Mario daughter on this joint. I'll bomb you. Talking about how you gonna talk about hip hop? You don't even know no pioneer. Better stop listening to that damn fool, Dr. Derek Cologne. Lying on hip hop. We can go straight to the pioneers, directly the founders. We can go directly to them, right?
I kind of say of the youth, by the youth, for the youth. This genre of music.
My take on it is like, yeah, for the youth, by the youth, of the youth is my take on it.
When they said hip hop was for the youth and by the youth, I totally agree with that.
Hip hop was stolen from 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old kids.
Hip hop was a
youth-oriented.
Stop it. These are the pioneers. Yo, DJ Genesis, read my mind. How you went there? This is exactly where I wanted you to go. You read my mind. I didn't tell DJ Genesis to go there. But this is exactly where I was going to. Come on, man. That's Charlie Rock. That's DJ Phase. They telling you that it was a youth-oriented movement. Didn't I not tell you that hip-hop was created by the Little Rascals, which was absorbed in the black space, and they became known as the baby space? That was Green Eye Stan. That was Young Blackjack and the Young Spades. That was DJ Phase right there, known as Booby, or the Drummer Boy, man. These are the founders. These are the direct founders of hip hop. These are the founders. I'm not talking about no goddamn people that came later and contributed to hip hop. I'm talking about the inception of it. Press play.
Right. It's not adults. Right. It's youth oriented. Right. Any adults were very young, very young. Right. And those adults were still connected to us.
My take on it was like, yeah, for the youth, by the youth, of the youth.
Hip hop was started for the youth, by the youth. So I agree when Chuck D said that. But my concern with Chuck D, when he said his comments, was that these myths and these lies, these hip hop lies that's been circulating for so long, or I shouldn't even say lies, I should say unconfirmed rumors. You know what I'm saying? One of the unconfirmed rumors that I have an issue with is that Kool Herc brought the 2 turntables and a microphone concept to the Bronx or to New York City or to America.
It's created this realm of taking and making what's in records and turntablism, and what the Jamaicans and the Caribbeans did with 2 turntables and a microphone and
See, that's lies. That's lies, because we have foundational Black Americans doing this before Kool Herc. Listen, it is a fact that Kool Herc's sister used to date a Black Spade from Bronxdale Projects. See, I'm giving y'all the in-depth history. Right? And Kool Herc used to go to Bronxdale to the parties outside in the park and watch DJ Disco King Mario DJ. He used to also go when he used to be a graffiti artist. Before DJ Kool Herc was a DJ, he was a graffiti artist. And he used to go to a place called The Puzzle. And he used to watch a dude by the name of DJ John Brown. He was already extending the beat and all that. That's where Herc learned all that stuff from. He learned from DJ Disco King Mario. He learned from DJ Grandmaster Flowers. He learned Jim Brown. These are facts. He even tell you out of his own mouth that he was influenced by these people, man. This is dumb. He learned how to dress from Coke LaRock. He even said out of his own mouth that he was dressed like a hick, that he was wearing on cowboy boots. Why? Because during that time when DJ Kool Herc came to the United States, to New York, at the time, one of the genres that they loved over there in Jamaica was Western movies, cowboy movies. So he came with the cowboy boots and he was dressed like a hick. And the cats, they was laughing at Kool Herc, talking about he had on roach killers, man. We talking facts. Why? Because they was rocking the champagne cologne. They was rocking the mock necks. They was rocking the British walkers. That style, all that stuff come from Black Americans, man. From out of gang culture. They was rocks. They was rocking the medallions. They was already fly in the early 70s, late 60s, because the Young and Baby Spades were imitating the gangsters from out of Harlem. But they just put their own like street style to it. Press play.
hosting and taking that to the next level with what you call American records. See, that style of the 2 turntables and getting on the mic from Kool Herc, who's the Jamaican. See, that style of the 2 turntables and getting on the mic from Kool Herc, who's the Jamaican.
There would not be hip hop. There would not be 2 turntables without Jamaican culture, bringing it to the sound system.
So from my understanding,
So y'all know who's speaking. This the mighty Hebrew. And I if I offended anybody that didn't need to be offended, I apologize. But at the end of the day, man, enough is enough, man. Insane. DJ Disco King Mario even had a street named after him. Why wouldn't y'all respect DJ Disco King Mario? Then y'all lie and say, oh, he wasn't a hip hop DJ, he was a disco DJ. No, he was not. It's a difference from a disco DJ versus a discotheque. The name disco has nothing to do with disco music with Disco King Mario. Disco meant that he would rock the discotheque, meaning the club. And he took that name from somebody that was calling themselves in Bronx Disco King. He like, you ain't the real Disco King, because at first he was just as Mario. Y'all didn't know that it was DJ Disco King Mario that brought out Busy Bee? Y'all ain't know that? Y'all didn't know that DJ Disco King Mario brought out Kid Capri? Y'all ain't know that? How y'all don't know the real history of hip hop? Why y'all let white people infiltrate hip hop and tell y'all where hip hop came from? Why y'all let that happen? Y'all actually believe that 3 immigrants came in and brought in hip hop. Y'all believe that bullshit? Y'all believe that Grandmaster Flash brought in hip hop when Grandmaster Flash, before he was even a DJ, he was a B-boy. What was he a B-boy of if there wasn't no hip hop before them? Y'all believe that shit? Y'all ran with that narrative? You see how stupid you sound to believe in some shit like that, some tether ass shit like that? Y'all ran with that.
With Mighty Hebrew, you mind if I tap in with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I want, in regards to hip hop, I mean, I think that's like I think that's Black American through and through. You know, I think as far as any type of art culture, you know, that's where probably the most dominant or our most prolific cultural export. You know, as a group of people, you know, like you mentioned that I don't know if you was in Dar es Salaam, you been in Tanzania, and people recognize that element. Like I worked in the Middle East, and people everywhere you go.
I'll be in Dar es Salaam. I'll be over there. Yeah, I'll be in Dar.
Okay. Now my thing, and I seen the Frank Zanu, I believe his name is Zanu, interview. Because like I said, as far as the music, you know, as far as that element of culture, you know, or to me, even being the most dominant force within American pop culture has been Black America. I don't think anybody can argue that. Like anywhere that you go, people are going to identify it. Like I've been all over the world myself, and people are going to identify, you know, Black America. People know Black American culture. People know but it's mostly with the music or it's with sports. So, you know, that's a cultural identifier anywhere you go. But to Frank Zanu's point, or to the point, because you said that Black American culture is constantly evolving, right? Now, I do think that Frank Zanu is
not just Black American culture, but I'm looking at the overview definition, and it says that it's not innate but acquired through socialization, constant evolving, and distinguishes one group from another. And what I was saying, that when you look at Black American culture, we are constantly, generating or evolving. You know, you am I correct? You Black American?
Yes.
So like every day we just creating new things. That's another thing I'm arguing. If breakdancing, for instance, was created by Puerto Ricans, why haven't they evolved it? Whereas though with us, we evolved it to so many different dance styles, because you got 5 elements of hip, and one of the elements is breakdancing, which is inclusive with pop locking. And we didn't even get over there to the West Coast. And pop locking was created in the West Coast in Cali by foundational Black Americans in 1968. They was already vibing with some form of hip hop and not even being attached to the hip hop that was going on in New York. This is how we know it's all FBA. Wherever we was at, where we originally came out of the Carolinas or wherever, and we started these migrational patterns throughout the United States, we were taking elements of that Pacific culture with us. And I did see the interview. You can keep going, but I wanted you to know I did see the interview of Frank, and I've seen many of his interviews. And I disagree with him when he's trying to say Black Americans don't have. That's not the only interview where he bluntly said these things. But by me studying the socialism of these tribes in Africa, their customs have not evolved. Their ways have not evolved. And they themselves, the things that might appear as being evolved is them adopting the mannerisms of the Mzungu or the Goyim, the Euro Gentile. So when you identifiable culture, it hasn't evolved. Only thing that's evolving is what they have either adopted by adaptation or force. That's what you're seeing. And one of them instances is what you said. You see hip hop over there. I'm on the ground. You traveled the world, and you know for a fact that these people imitate Black Americans. And one more thing, and I'm gonna give it back to you. You would be correct today, 2025. What they're imitating over here is hip hop and sports. But when you go into the 60s and the 50s and the 40s, you will see the heavy Black American resistant mind state in Africa. You see that. You see the Black power structure crossing over, into America. Into Africa. Even the independence of Ghana is based on the heavy influences of what they seen Black Americans, did over in the Americas. When you look at the Civil Rights Movement, we can clearly see that penetrated the Immigration Act of 1965. My problem is that Africans or continental Africans look at Black Americans as disdain, but when they come over to the United States, they reap the benefits or offer what we've been hung for, molested, brutalized, and murdered, castrated over there in the United States. But when Black Americans go back to Africa, they can't benefit nothing. They are the ones with the bag. It's the Black Americans that's coming over here to Africa with the bag. That is a fact, with the bag. But when it come to them, they never came over into the United States and said, "You are my brother. Let us help you." When Amadou Diablo got shot up on that roof in New York City, that was Black Americans pushing for redemption. Anytime Africans get hurt over there in the United States, it's always Black American faces, the NAACP, different Black coalitions helping. But when it come to us, you don't see them in the forefront helping us. You don't see that. You don't see them saying, let's take some ships and boats and go get them people, and they was oppressed in this, that, the only thing I see them doing is taking from us and belittling us to the general public. If we were their brothers and sisters like they claim we are, and I'm in the continent, and I'm telling you, it's a different story. Let you not come over here with that bag, or let you come over here with that bag and run out of that bag and see how many of them will love you then. I'm just telling you straight cold facts. But we always loved them. We was always on the front line when it came to the Pan-African thought. It was always Black Americans trying to unify with all people of color, all oppressed people. But all oppressed people and all people of color, they don't unify with us unless it benefits them. Like the Somalians right now trying to say, well, we're Black too. Why? Because it benefits them. But they don't fuck with us. Why is it when we have all these African parades and different, Afrocentric gatherings, why they don't gather with us? Right in Harlem, they separated from us because they don't look at us as the same, man. They got to be called out too. Just like they want to call out Black America, we going to call them out too. We going to call them out. We got a right to be upset because everything we built, they got continental African shows right now on YouTube, family, where these fools is aligning with Europeans to talk shit about Black Americans. This is what they're doing right now. They're aligning with the enemy. How can we say these are brothers and sisters and they're aligning with the enemy right in front of us? in front of us. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. Shout out to Professor James Small.
Well,
Tariq Nasheed is not. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
well, okay. Now this is what I wanted to ask because, okay, I do think, and I've seen other things when he first started going viral. Now, I do think that certain stuff about Frank Zanu, he's kind of like a fake intellectual, and certain things like he can do that. That's why I didn't think that the debate that he had there, that when they was asking him direct questions, he would go into this hodgepodge of things, and it just would be all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But my thing that, okay, when he said the thing about language, right? And okay, anybody who study, like you know of Torah, right? And you know how with Torah it was very important that they kept the language of Torah, or the books of the Bible, in its cultural tongue, in its in the language of their fathers, as they say. It was very important that they kept the book in the language of their fathers, because culture. I mean, because language is very important in the in the people's shared identity, in their camaraderie, in their cohesion, in preserving one's cultural
Okay.
authenticity. Like language, that's very important, right? Now he
Okay.
said that. You said again.
I'm saying Cain in Hebrew meaning indeed, yes.
Okay. So when he said the thing about the language, and that being such a ethnic like a ethnic, bringing such an ethnic connection, right? Now again, for the most part, or the Black American thing was more so built around the skin color. And that's why how you get to the thing of, okay, the black skin connection and connecting of people of similar hue, and that type of thing. And I'm saying that, okay, if I think that if you had a culture that was more, based around, you know, how would I say, a dialect, or I think, like I say, I don't agree with his premise. I don't agree with his arguments on things, but I do agree with the premise, of having of a people being solidified by a dialect, and by a people being solidified by culture. Because sometimes we, in the black thing, we're calling like trends. We're calling things that are maybe centered in what's trending culture. And it's a difference between culture and trends. It's a difference between having a set shared values, principles, shared customs, shared traditions, a shared moral standards, and just having some trends where it come along, and then it be the trend, and then you look up and it's something else. And I think that, like, I do think that it's validity in some things that he's saying. When you talk about having a dialect as a people, or having a culture that's more centered around your culture being based on traditional things or shared value systems, versus it being like things that just come for the moment. And then those are things that you huddle around, and then you call that the culture, and it's something else. You know what I'm saying? Then you go off into something else, or you go off into this. And then you kind of get to the point where, just like some of the issues we having with in our relationships, or some of the issues that we're having in community, because you don't have a rock solid shared value system. It's not a agreed upon shared way of doing things. And then you kind of like all over the place with your culture. And you become like almost like an unbiased consumer. So I just wanted to see, how do you feel about, or what do you think as far as the dialect thing, or and as far as like having a set shared value system as a people? Hello?
Yeah, shalom, shalom. Now I'm back with you. Y'all understand what the man's saying? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear me?
you.
Don't go to sleep, Genesis. Genesis. You there, Genesis? I make sure she
I'm here.
stay here. But
I was asleep, you guys.
are you falling asleep? All right, I'm gonna just say this and then close it out then since you sleep. Listen, when you look at Jamaica, for example, they speak patois, right? Which is broken up English with Irish influence and little snippets of languages from West Africa. This is the same thing you see in the United States, man. You see the same thing. We might call it Ebonics, whatever the case may be. See, the difference with Africa and us is this. They took us directly from out of our land and they isolated us. And they made like breeding farms and different things like that. So a lot of things became isolated, but through oral and word of mouth and certain remembrances, we were able to keep certain things. Now remember, culture, this is again, I want you to hear this because culture is a shared learned system of beliefs. There are shared systems of beliefs within the Black American culture. For instance, when you look at Southern food or soul food, I don't care where you go in the United States, this is just something amongst Black Americans that we connect with. You know what I mean? If you look at what we like to listen to, you know what I'm saying? We have that same shared idea. That's why I know hip hop, getting into hip hop, that we know that hip hop came from Black Americans. Why? Because when we go into their parents' crates, their Jamaican parents' crates, or we go into the Hispanic parents' crates, they don't have the musical sounds that our parents' crates had, where they was listening to the Four Tops, the Temptations, Marvin Gaye, you know what I'm saying? Whether you talking about the Fifth Dimension, etc. We was listening to that Parliament. This was us, Teddy Pendergrass, et cetera, et cetera. These were the things that we were listening to in the crates. Culture is a shared learned system of belief. So it's a shared system and a learned behavior of the type of music that we was feeling during the 60s and 70s. We did have certain customs that we applied, whether it was jumping the broom, whether it was respecting the elders. It didn't matter. Like if I disrespect your mother or father by being disrespectful in the street, my brother, your parents can whoop my behind and then take me to my parents and tell my parents what I did, and then in turn I get my ass whooped by them too. This was just something that was all around the board, all throughout the United States, right? We have behaviors. We do have artifacts that categorize us as a group or a society. We do. We have a blueprint for the way of life. We do have these things. Even when you look at the Black church, and I'm not Christian, but that's still a part of my experience or our experience. The Black church is a significant part of our experience. And when you look at the Black church, there always been values with our people, man, always. But when this man said we don't have no that's too broad. That's too broad. And we got to understand what was going on. And let's be clear and frank. When West Africans, where he come from, make it seem like we don't have no culture, that way he's speaking, that ain't even his language. The modern day, when you talk about the Ashanti language and and the Twi and all, that's all new languages that's no more than 800 years old.
And grab the microphone, ask him, where am I?
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, when we really
I agree.
when we really look at that, they're making it seem like, you know, their culture was untainted. When in fact, they culture, they were colonized, demarcation stations was changed. You know, you got different tribes absorbing in with other different tribes, creating different things that wasn't originally theirs. So for them to sit back and say, you know, Black Americans don't have no culture, from what I'm seeing that the definition of culture fit Black American culture perfectly. And you can see how we evolve. We don't stay stagnated. We can, when they steal something from us, we just develop some more shit. We just come up with some other shit. That's how profound we are. And there's reasons behind that, but I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't want to spook nobody out. But spiritually, I think we are different people as well. But that's another story, another topic that I ain't gonna get on that. But what I'm saying is,
have you watched this whole thing, this whole video? Have you seen it?
Say that one more time, DJ.
Whole video.
Yeah, that video ain't really important because even when you do watch that video, you know how you know he's an enemy? Because in everything the other side said, that man never really said, I agree with that. Everything they said, he tried to counter it. So if he would give out these drawn out stories to flatter you, to in turn counter what you say. So when one thing about me debating for many years, I know about counter flattery, so to say. So with him, it was never in the sense of let's see the pros and cons from both sides. His whole thing is y'all don't have this, this is why, that is why. But at the same time, he's telling on himself like, yeah, we was imitating y'all. We was doing this, we was doing that. You the one that made us feel like the dashiki feel special to us. And this, that, the third, saying all these different things. But then we have no culture. Oh, y'all don't have no. We do have a cultural link. If you go to the West Coast right now, for instance, you go to LA, you can go to Long Beach, you can go to Sacramento. You got cats there that speak English, but they got a certain way of speaking in a way. You from the East Coast, you don't even know what they saying, man. You can go to Atlanta, you can go to Philly, wherever. Everything in Philly, where I'm from, is a John. That's the John. This turkey ass, it's patterns of speech that show we do have a form of language through the thought, even though we may speak English, but the thought is ancient and it's permeating through our pattern of speech. So for this man not to understand how language evolves, and even when you was breaking down the Torah is to evolve as the people evolve. We don't supposed to stay stuck in Torah like 3,000 years ago. We supposed to evolve and get a higher understanding of Torah and create principle from out of it. I ain't trying to run around driving a camel, riding on a camel. We ain't running around stoning people to death the way we did. Not to say that we wouldn't have a death penalty. It's just to say that certain things evolve, language evolve, new things are invented. But what I'm saying for him, they make it seem like, oh, they have no culture. We creating culture as we talk right now. So one of the 5 elements of hip hop being b-boying, I'm saying b-boying is all dances of hip hop. It ain't just break dancing only or pop locking. It's everything. It's the Dougie. It's the Cabbage Patch. It's the WAP. It's the Running Man. Everything we do, we evolve. Look at our Black exploit. That right there shuts everything down. Look at the Black exploitated movies. We influence the world, man. Where's they Black exploitated movies? Where's they jive talk at? Where's they afros at? Where's they resistant movements at? Where are they at? That we can say, yo, okay, they contributed. They contributed to.
Can I add? Okay, but that's what I was saying. Okay, when you talk about a culture, is it a lot of feedback? Hello?
Try now.
Yeah, it makes it kind of like. Y'all hear feedback or no?
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Okay. No, I was going to say. Okay, that's where I was saying that. Okay, the difference between trends, some something that just comes, for the moment, or comes for a time being and is popular or we group up around versus something of that has an enduring value, meaning that okay, if you create something right, and then that which you create is something that has an endearing, lasting value within that said people, right? And it shows its value, demonstrated ability, and in the way in which it allows this cohesion or elevates your cultural vehicle. So I'm saying that okay, for the most part, a lot of times when I hear, like, again, as far as music and as far as food, those are identifiers. But I'm saying that okay, when people talk about the language part, okay, to me that's more of a vernacular, right? And then black people like speak with all groups of people depending on region. So I'm saying when we talk about connection as a group of people, when we talk about okay, I'm Black American, my ancestry go back to the South. I've been in Detroit 3 generations. I'm a third generation Detroiter. What connects us as far as a shared stamped values, customs, traditions, these type of things. I'm saying as far as those things, because again, I don't think that we would have maybe the issues that we have as a community if those things were stamped. Okay, this is the values that it's in your community. We ain't no carjacking old folk, ain't no robbing. A lot of the things that you see. If those things were stamped, I don't think that you would have the culture where it's at. I don't think that the culture would have went.
Right. I understand. Again, I understand what you're saying. So I want to just point out the key aspects of culture because it's like, I'm not saying you pulling hairs. I'm just saying like we got to understand that this is very complex. That's number one, because our social background was different versus being colonized. That's number one. But number two, we got to look at the key aspects of culture because this man clearly said, and in many presentations, Black Americans don't have no culture. He's painting a broad brush. You're trying to get clarity what he's saying maybe in this presentation, but I can show you in other presentations where this man bluntly say Black Americans don't have no culture at all. I can show you that. So what I'm saying is key aspects of culture. One, shared and learned. Culture is passed down through generations, learned by observing, imitating, or being taught, not inherited. So when we talk about the conduct of respect, where you from, brother? Where you from?
Detroit.
Okay, watch this. I'm from Philly. How old are you? How old are you? If you don't mind me asking you.
Oh, 40.
Okay. I'll be 50 in July. Now, I know you 40, so you should remember this. Was there a time that you remembered that it was a no-no to disrespect the elders in the community or adults?
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you? Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Say, for instance, if my mother seen you back in the early 80s or late 70s being disrespectful in the public, could my mother spank you and then take you home to your parents and tell them what you did and then you get another spanking?
Now that wasn't in my time, but that was a thing that the Black community did. That was kind of like falling off a little bit. That was kind of like going down. You're right about that.
I remember crystal clear. Okay, so this is all throughout the United States. Everywhere you go down south, West Coast, Midwest, there was a thing that back in the day, it was a known thing, whether we got it through observing, imitating, or being taught this. It was a no-no not to disrespect adults. And if you did, you got your behind whooped by the adult that seen it, and then they took you to your parents and they told your parents what you did, and then you got another ass whooping. But then later it became, once the epidemics took place, the crack epidemic, the things going on, all that became severed. So that is a share and learn behavior within the key aspects of culture. 2, complex whole. It includes tangible things, food, clothing, and intangible aspects, knowledge, beliefs, art, morals, customs. Watch this. Now, food. You fuck with soul food, Detroit?
Yeah.
All right. I fuck. Tell me some things you eat. Tell me some things you fuck with oxtail.
Now, see, the thing about it is that I didn't grow up eating oxtail. My family didn't cook oxtail. I didn't eat no oxtail till I was grown. But as far as
that's a part of soul food, though, right?
Yeah. I think more to me the staple is more collard greens and
we eat. Yeah, absolutely. I bang collard greens. What you put in your collard greens, Detroit?
I just put the most smoked turkey legs in there.
Yeah, I mean that's what we do, right? Right. You make that potato salad.
No, I ain't in the potato salad, but that's the staple.
But y'all do make potato. But you see where I'm going. But you do make potato salad in Detroit.
Well, no. I would agree that the food culture is shared. As far as those things, as far as the food, as far as the art culture.
Right, but what I'm showing you is that when you look at the key aspects of culture, we are fitting in every aspect. I'm dismantling this dude. The first key aspect was shared and learned. Type it up so you can follow me. So the key aspect of culture, 1, shared and learned, which is culture passed down through generation. I showed you when there was a time that you couldn't disrespect the elders or the adults in the community. And if you did, whoever seen you, they whooped your ass, and then they took you to your parents and you got your ass whooped. This is all over the country of the United States and Black American culture. That's shared and learned. The second aspect is a complex whole, which includes tangible things like food, clothing, our style, how we rock our clothes. It may vary slightly from wherever you're from, but the overall view, it's the same. It's the same. Then 3, we get patterns of behavior.
Are you Black American or are you?
I can't hear you, DJ Genesis.
I can't hear you.
Say that again.
What is Al Caribbean or is he Black American?
He's Black American.
No, I'm Black
He's
American.
Black American. So look. No, I need to address this. Look at the pattern. I hear what you're saying, but the problem with the argument, like that can be true what you're saying, but it don't stop the argument of us having culture. And what I'm saying is, it is true in the sense based on whatever generation you talking about. Because a lot of the things, because like you just said, yeah, I'm only 40. I think that was fading away at the time. So a lot of the younger generation that's talking about these discussions, these things don't exist today because they've been severed out. But original foundation Black American culture had all the key aspects of culture, patterns of behavior. It dictates how people behave, communicate,
Okay, can I,
visitors,
let me just.
interact with someone. No,
Well, see,
I
this is
don't
the
want
thing
to,
about it.
but
I agree with you, 100%. Okay, and that's what I was saying earlier. I was saying that okay, when you look at our foreparents, or when you look at the first 100 years of freedom, physical freedom, right? Okay, as far as Black American culture, it was built around the church. It was built around, and we can agree or disagree. It was built around a Western Protestant value system. That the church dictated the values, or the shared values, the shared customs, the shared traditions. It was built around.
I will agree with that to a point. Yes, you're correct. There was a shared value through the Protestant understanding, but it was also amalgamated through the fusionism of thoughts that we brought with us from Africa. But continue.
Okay, and I agree with that, right? So you had certain things at that time that the Black community looked to and leaned on that were that were a shared thing. I'm saying in the present, like, so if we go in 2025, right? I don't if those things were still intact, because I look at, like, now, Black people kind of have become like unbiased consumers of culture. So it's like, okay, something comes down the pike of pop culture, right? Like, they got the balloon challenge, not the balloon, but the what's the thing? The gender reveal, where they do the gender reveal, and they pop the balloon or whatever, you say, and it's like, okay, now is gender reveals, right? Or, pop, now is that Black, if you just because Black people are doing that, is that Black culture? And you got people that will say there's certain things that, okay,
I understand your argument, but the reality, you and Frank arguing two different things. You're not saying that Black people don't have culture. What you're saying is, if you look at this generation is different from our generation 100 years ago. So when you look at this generation, they don't have this, they don't have that. This man Frank is saying Black people don't have culture. And he doesn't distinguish, and you know this, from the generations or anything like that. What I'm saying is, our people do have a culture, but I'm not going to get into that, then I'll be biased, because I'm saying their culture is really an Israelite culture, but I'm not going to go there with that. I'm just going to keep it on the surface. Where I'm saying that you have key aspects of culture. Even in our most deplorable state as a people right now, we still got culture there. We still got the pattern of behavior, or the patterns of behavior which dictate how our people behave. And when you look at the patterns of behavior, whether it's negative or positive, it becomes a subculture within the culture. The way we communicate and we greet visitors, we interact with loved ones. And then the next key aspect, or the key aspects of our culture, is guides and actions, shared norms and value influences, decisions and actions in patterned ways, creating social reality. Black Americans are known for creating social realities. We're known for that. We're like the #1 in the world that do. People wait for Black Americans to stamp things to say, yo, that's approved. And then we get into the dynamic of the key aspects of culture. And then we look at culture not being static. It changes and adapts due to the internal and external influences. So what you're seeing is adaptations based on the social behaviors that are taking place within our environmental conditioning. Whatever is causing these conditionings, it still develops sub-customal behaviors. Then you start talking about the symbolic within the key aspects of culture. Now we talking about language, gestures, and objects carry shared meanings and unique to the group. With that, social anthropologist fails to understand. He's talking about they don't have no language. Where he fails to understand, we do have language, because language is understood based on the thought. This is why we could take words and have a variety of different meanings for one word. You see what I'm saying? Where it would become oxymoronic to somebody that's speaking old English or what they call proper English, because we bring the thought of our original language into the language that we're speaking, which becomes now a different language based on the thought, which is now defined today as Ebonics. Okay, so we do have a language, even though I'll tell you your original language is Hebrew, but I ain't gonna get into that. I'm just gonna stay focused over in America. So what I'm saying is, yes, we have shared and learned behavior. We have complex whole. We have patterns of behavior. We have guides, actions. We have dynamic. We have symbolic. We have these things. So for that, and what kills me.
Let me say this real fast. Okay.
Is he talking about what kills me is these continental Africans say these. I'm not defending these people, man. Because the reality is, and you're a smart brother, you know that man, he's not coming to try to help Black Americans. I've studied this background. He ain't doing nothing but talking about Black Americans. But we have come over to the continent and we have enriched the continent. And I'm talking about repats, Black American repats, coming over here, building and doing different things. They're not doing that with us, man.
Well, no.
So who really got?
Here's the thing about it, not to cut you off. Okay, I don't agree with Frank Zunu when he said that we don't have culture. Like all people have culture, all people. And I think that that's like a nothing burger argument. That's why I was saying that it wasn't a debate, and they let him say all type of stuff and make up all type of definitions. But people have to realize that the first people that was coming and saying that Black people were lost were other Black Americans. Elijah Muhammad. What's the one? He did the Negro question. So these people. What's the one? The cultural nationalists. Mylena Karinga. And they were saying, if you look at what they were saying, like Manny Johnson, being a like you said, Negro reformer, what they call him. I'm saying that they were saying, okay, listen, our foreparents in slavery could not cultivate elements of culture, certain elements of culture. They due to that experience, and due to being like scattered throughout the South, that they couldn't cultivate a complete identity. It was things that we just couldn't do. It was more about creating a culture to try to ease the reality of this situation that we're in. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things that was built at that time, and they were saying that when Black people got free, that it was a certain worldview or a certain mindset that those things had to be purged because they weren't meant to work in the free world. Those were just things that was created for that time, but they weren't meant to be taken into freedom, right? And it's one thing that Elijah Muhammad, he said that Black people always had to cultivate culture outside of that experience. So the culture had to be cultivated outside of just the reality of slavery, because those things were created in a certain political time. So what I'm saying is that if you look at how the culture was built, it was built a certain way. And I don't agree with Frank, but I'm saying that where the Black culture is now, that's why I was asking, what's the difference between trends and culture? So when we say the things that we create, right? Like remember, I know you remember white tees was popular. Everybody wore white tees.
But trends are part of culture. Trends
they are.
That's our expression. That's a form of expression. So trends itself would be a part of culture. Not to say it's culture itself, but we don't want to separate trends from outer culture, because that's a part of culture. And when you start talking about the most honorable Elijah Muhammad talking about we didn't have no culture, he was more or less talking about our original culture coming from out of the tribe of Shabazz, was supposed to have been 98 trillion years old. That's what he was talking about, and that we became subhuman in America, and that he's not the only one. You will hear even Israelites saying, well, that's not your original culture, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
The argument isn't about original or non-original. The argument is just culture in general, because culture evolves, and not just evolves. Sometimes it can devolute based on adaptorial experiences. So looking at it from an anthropological standpoint, we have to really look at the pros and cons of what happened to Black Americans in the United States. We talking about slavery, post-slavery, Black code laws, Jim Crow, the civil rights movement. So there was a lot of things that became, fixated within our community that caused certain experiences. But at the end of the day, we evolved to such a point, we fit the overall view of culture like a glove, because again, culture is the shared learned system of beliefs. Well, if we learned it through enslavement, wherever the condition was, we had to adapt. And out of all people on the planet, the Black American experience, and even if you look biblically, remember Israel, are you, because I heard you bring up the Torah, you subscribe to the Torah?
Yeah. Well, I haven't. I was in the Hebrew. That's how I knew it. I used to go to a congregation in Virginia, OT only congregation in Virginia for years, and that's why I was saying that bringing the.
I'm Old Testament only. What congregation was you in VA?
I don't know if you're familiar with the children.
Gang, I am.
Yeah, I used to, before they end up. I ended up moving back to the city, but I used to be in that congregation for a couple years, and I was.
So you was with Yah and all them, the children of Yah.
Say it again.
You was with the children of Yah, Za'al Parah and all them out VA.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay, go ahead. Say what you said. Go ahead.
So that's what I was saying. Okay, when you talk about the sheer value, okay, in my time, or because I was still alive with my grandparents and all that type of stuff. Okay, the culture was a certain way, and that's why I try to ask people. Okay, when you talk about Black culture in the contemporary, okay, to me it's more so okay. Something comes down the pike of popular culture, right? Everybody huddles around that. So then we say, well, this is the culture. This is what everybody's doing, and then it'll turn around, and then there'll be something else, and then we'll huddle on that, and then people will do that. Then it becomes, and I'm saying that the only issue with having a culture that's revolving around the trends, because negative things come. That's why I said that, okay, when you talk about those people or other groups of people that kind of stick to one thing, or they preserve certain values, because it kind of keeps you, it kind of keeps your culture, and it preserves what works, as opposed
bro, they don't preserve it. That's the thing I'm saying. They really don't. When you come on the ground, the younger generation, they not dealing with the traditions over here and all that. They not. These people over here are imitating. Even one of my wives, she was saying, like, it was like maybe like 2 weeks ago, she right here, and she was looking at, we was at Raoul Pub ordering some food. So while we there, we looking at the videos, and the first thing my Isha said, she was like, yo, they like Black Americans. So you can clearly see that there's an identifiable factor of what is connected to Black American culture. And like I said, it doesn't have to be positive or negative in the sense of the overview of culture. Because remember, a lot of you know the Torah, the Tanakh, our history, and how we would become a no people, in the sense we wouldn't have our original culture, we would lose our language, our heritage, identity, in the sense of us being Israelites. But we would still have an element of culture there. You know what I'm saying? We would adapt to the environment that we in. So culture is a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior that automatically happens. There's no people on the planet that's just walking around without no culture. There's no people. There's that even if a person don't want to, they're looking at it a certain way. The key aspects of culture is there. That's why I'm giving you the anthropological understanding of what culture means. That dude Frank, he didn't do that. He just on there saying we don't have no culture. But then he turned around and offer the Black American experience. So there is, I see it, baby. Told about Bob Asati Sana. So what I'm saying is there is learned behavior that we have to consider, and the sensitivities that man isn't considering, and the disdain and the disrespect that man put out there. You understand what I'm saying? This is a pattern that is going on TikTok, IG, all over. You can't benefit and then, or you can't come. That's like me coming to your house, Detroit, and I'm totally disrespecting you. Or you create cheesesteaks, hypothetically, even though that's out of Philly, but you create a certain cheesesteak. I imitate it, and then turn around and shit on you. That's what's going on right now. You can't look at our experience, because remember, Israel will be an example, negative or positive. You can't look at our experience and then turn around and shit on us. And if we're going to take what you were saying about the Torah and what you just said, well, we also got to take how all the nations would be against us. So that's what you're seeing. You're seeing that these nations, no matter what Israel do, whether we righteous or wicked, they're going to be against us. So they're tethering on everything that we do. Oh, y'all didn't do this. Anything that make us great, we didn't do it. Either we didn't do it, or some way, somehow, they're underhanding us, man. And you see the pattern, brother. You see it. We all see it. We all scream for ice cream, right? We all see this shit. This ain't something that, oh, I'm the only one see. This is a pattern, man. It's so bad now they making shows strictly on Black Americans and being against us. This sound like jealousy to me, man. Because we was put in a certain position instead of uniting. Why? Listen, when we created HUMP to establish that Immigration Act in 1965, one of the objectives that we was pushing, that people in Africa would come to the United States and unite with us to overthrow the Euro-Gentile social construct that was savagely enslaving the whole planet, Western liberal democracy. But what did they do? They came to the United States and they aligned with the Mzungu. They aligned with the devil. They aligned with the going, man. That's what they did. And you see it even today, right now, trickle down in our community. They don't fuck with us, man. You know that. If we all the same, why when they come to the United States, they stay separated from us? But they don't stay separated from the white man. Why are they separated from us? Because ethnically, they know we are different people. They know they are different ethnogenesis than us. Just like the scriptures show that they different from us, man. And I'm not saying the Bantu speaking tribes in Africa. I'm talking about many of the Nordic tribes and even some of the Bantu speaking tribes that look at us differently, even though we might come from the same Hebraic stock. But socially, through culture and adaptation, things and experiences took place where there's a change of behavior. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not in disagreement with you, my brother. I'm in total disagreement with this Frank dude. You don't even have to justify him because he's not even justifying himself. So you don't even have to come on here and justify him because he already showed how his real disdain for Black Americans. Because he did not, at the end of that show, he didn't say, well, let's come together and let's have some think tank discussions and some powwows so we can come up with a concrete understanding and conclusion. And let's fix this burning bridge from both sides. Because we all got problems. There's problems over here in the continent of Africa. There's problems over there in the continent of North America. We got problems on both sides. So how do we fix this problem? He didn't say that. He just came on the show and his whole objective was Black Americans ain't got no culture. Then he tried to justify we didn't have no culture, and never was there a point of contention within the discussion at hand that he said, I agree with you saying right there, but the other side, they were saying that to him. They were saying, yeah, I agree with you with that, but we don't agree on this. So when somebody come in the circle or the cipher within the square of truth and try to give their opinion without one time saying, I see what you're saying from that standpoint. That to me, that's an agent. That's an agent. This man don't give a damn about Black Americans, but he's reaping off of Black Americans. He's reaping. Even the discussion, his whole objective is running around talking about Black Americans ain't got no culture, and this why. So he's being fed, like, who's feeding his mouth? Who's feeding his big mouth to say these things? He got to be being fed from somewhere to be saying these things, man. And I'm saying that the power structure that he engulfed himself in through monetary accoutrements. And that's the problem that I'm having with that man, or anybody that sit back, and I'm not saying you, that justify that man. That man hate us for whatever I know the real reason. It's an ancient hate, but I ain't gonna talk about that. And I know that you know, because you are a subscriber of Torah and you know your Israelite history. So we know that these people that we dealing with. So they sit back and say that we don't know that these people have an agenda. The Somalian got caught on TV live. They were being recorded saying their objective is to sit in political seats to push Black Americans out the way and to take our place. Why would they say that? Why when you go to Minneapolis or Minnesota or Minneapolis or wherever they at, and that big ICE situation is taking place, and they talking about already deporting 90,000 of them? Where was the Black Americans at in that community over there? And was dealing with all that scamming and scamming out of billions of dollars. And now they're trying to use the 14th Amendment as a premise so they can sit and knowing that that was strictly for Black Americans. They trying to replace you. That's what they trying to do. That our experience means nothing and that these people can just say what they want, when they want, and how they want, and not be challenged. And you know what kills me? They always try to use Black Americans that can't defend and answer the challenge. We can answer the challenge. It's just that they don't have the proper scholars that come on here and sever their fucking head off when they talk trash about Black Americans. But then they biting off everything that we doing. Ain't that what we said in hip hop back in the day? We hate a biter, a sucker MC biting. They biting off everything that we do and say, but we have no culture. DJ Genesis, how you feel about that?
Yeah, she might be asleep. She probably knocked out.
She rock-a-bye, baby. So I had to get on there. I had nothing to do with you, bro. It was earlier, and we was on the side netta joint, and I was hitting it so hard that they shut it off. So then Genesis come over here, and then you got these cats you just coming off attacking, but they have tether behavior. And let's make it clear. Just because you're an immigrant, that don't make you a tether. A tether is one that's trying to destroy Black American culture, but at the same time, riding on the tail of Black American culture. And this is what's going on right now. You know what I mean? Why can't they just say Black Americans created hip hop? Everybody know Black Americans created hip hop. Everybody know that. This is just facts, man. And just to sit back and, oh no, that's not true. Look, they getting so wicked now, my brother, that all the inventions Black Americans made, they making shows talking about we didn't even invent them things, man.
You said they
You
making
don't see
what?
what they do. You know all the inventions that we made, the patent inventions that Black Americans made, stoplight and the iron and hot comb, just different things that we made. You got continental Africans making podcasts with Europeans talking about how we didn't invent none of that stuff. I can show you right now, bro. I can show you right now. You got this boy by the name of O'Shea. He's a Black American. He live in Uganda, right?
Yeah.
And you got I'm pretty sure you heard of him. Then you got Tariq Nasheed. You okay, baby? Turn it off. Turn it off. It's fine. You cold? All right, you can turn it off if you want. All right. So what I'm saying, you got O'Shea, you got Tariq Nasheed, you got all these different people. You understand what I'm saying? That are coming up against what's been going on in the dark for a nice little minute, to the point the dude, he was critiquing O'Shea. I forgot this dude's name, Kwame, something like that. And he was critiquing Tariq Nasheed, right? And when he started doing his little videos here and there on them, to the point now where he evolved to an all-out assault attack on Black American culture, Black American history. Every show he's doing, this is how you know there's a continental disdain about Black Americans in Africa. It is, man. And for us to sit back and say that's not true, and we're okay, let's even get deeper. What's up with all them Black American women getting murdered in Gambia and Ghana when they come over and repatriate? And this is recent, within the last 2 years, 8 Black American women was murdered by the hands of local men that they was with, and robbed from out of all their money and all that. These are facts, yo. These are facts. That right now, that you got repats telling repat females not to come to Africa by themselves, to bring like a masculine figure with them, because a lot of them is getting scammed by their money by local Africans and even getting killed. Somebody got to mute their phone. That's a fact. Say I'm lying. I'm not saying you, brother, but anybody in the audience or whoever listens, say I'm lying. Because I know about some of them cases, man. I know about some of them cases. What about them land scams? How they would tell brothers and sisters, oh, this is your land, but come to find out they only leasing land, and then they build homes on that land, and then whoever really owned the land, they take the fucking land and the damn property. Come on, man. I'm telling y'all things that I've seen on the ground. Like there's like this interconnected understanding to suck the money dry from Black Americans when they come. It's not about building this unifying front. Man, we've been lied. I've been lied to. I thought it was going to be all that. The only ones I see really doing some real work in the continent is the Hebrews. That's like been, the Kingdom of Yah, them cats, and our brothers and sisters in Damona and pushing their communities all throughout Africa and stuff like that, and others. But I really don't see them on their end. Only thing I see, oh, brother, sister, we get you some land and whoop, and they give you all these stories. You got everybody coming at your hand, whether you talking about the immigration, you talking about the police, you talking about the locals, you talking about everybody coming at you. They want that bad. And I'm going to give you an analogy. Here's an analogy. Say Detroit, you 20 years old. You get kidnapped from synagogue when you 5, hypothetically, by some white people. They take you to America, they raise you. 15 years later after that, you find out, damn, my people from synagogue, we were stripped of our culture, heritage, everything. I'ma go back home. So then you find out where your home at, and you go knock on the door, and your mother come to the door, and you like, oh, mama, Ima, Ama, Umi, however you pronounce mama, right? And she hug you and she crying, you crying, right? And then you try to walk in the house, but your mother said, son, you got to give me 500 USD to walk in this door. Detroit, you so happy to be home because you was kidnapped for 15 years that you like, okay, I get a 500. Ain't no big deal where I come from. It's just $500. There you go. House. You sitting down, you talking about your experience. But then you get hungry and you see a refrigerator there. And you try to go to the refrigerator to grab some food. And your mama say, you got to give me $300 so you can eat. So then you like, damn, I'm back home. I'm in my house. I had to pay to get it. I got to pay for the food. And now you at the round table, you with your Abba or your Baba, whatever you want to call it, your Ab and your Ima, your mama, y'all talking, your cousins around, your other brothers and sisters. And now you want to get some rest for the night because you know it was a long travel from America to Senegal, West Africa. Remember, you home now, right? Your Abba say, no. You gotta pay to have sleeping quarters here. Like, wow. So now you gotta pay for it. To come back in the home, you gotta pay for the living quarters, the food, the transport, everything. And then after all the money is gone, right? After all the money is gone, family members start disappearing. You don't see your mama no more. You don't see your Baba or your Ima and your Abba no more. And all these people that loved you and said, welcome home, you don't see them no more. The point that I'm saying is that's the reality over here. The reality is not, we have become romanticized about Africa. And I live in Africa. And I'm telling you what it is. It is about the BAG. Again, the BAG. 7.8% of the time. Don't have that BAG, you don't have nothing. And that's just facts. So when somebody like Frank try to tell us, foundational Black Americans or African Americans, the tribe of Judah, whatever you want to call us, right? We don't have no culture. He better check his backyard, right? And start studying about how they running around doing ethno cleansing amongst each other. How they still doing female mutilation that they call circumcision over here. Lying, talking about how Black American women, they baby mamas, as if the baby mama drama ain't in Africa. Y'all ain't know the high rate of single mothers in Tanzania. Y'all didn't know that. Y'all didn't know that most Tanzanian men, when they get, and it's not just Tanzanians, but it's throughout Africa, when they get Dada or young sister pregnant, they dip on them. Y'all ain't know that? Oh, y'all just thought that was Black American culture, huh? Y'all thought only Black Americans have this problem. You know, single mother household is more higher in Africa than amongst Black Americans. Y'all didn't know that. Y'all didn't know that when you talking about honor, integrity, and respect, that the value system of respect is more higher amongst Black Americans than over in Africa. You don't know that one day your woman can be with you today and then tomorrow she right with another man. Y'all don't know that. Y'all don't know that these women over here, and I'm not saying all of them, when you talk about whoremongering, y'all see the reason why I'm pointing these things out, because I'm tired of Black Americans being the poster child of all the dark things that they don't want to talk about that go on in Africa. You ain't know that human trafficking going over here in Africa. You ain't know that scamming and scheming and deception and poisoning husbands for money and all kinds of shit go on in Africa. Y'all ain't know that? I'm over here on the ground. Y'all thought them Nigerian movies are fake. That shit's real. That shit really go on over here. You ain't know how deep they into the dark arts over this motherfucker, man. And that they send that doctor to your motherfucking ass. Y'all ain't know that. But y'all talk all this about Black Americans. Send this over to Tariq Nasheed. He need to hear what I'll flame these motherfuckers. Because I know for a fact what's going on over this motherfucker. And for people to sit over there and say, oh, they don't go on in Africa, and we got value systems, and we got this. Why y'all ain't using it? Why y'all ain't use y'all value systems to get the Muzungu out your fucking land? Why is it that y'all oppressing y'all own people? I'm talking about the governmental powers all throughout Africa are destroying their own people.
They should.
But y'all sit up here and talk. But y'all sit up here and talk about Black Americans. We not genocidally. We not genocidal. You know what I mean? On a level like that. See the difference in white supremacy in the United States in front of the masses while y'all rumbling your own people, but using the white American concepts and social construct that y'all didn't tear down. Y'all might have kicked out of them. Y'all might have kicked out the white man, but y'all still kept his value system up here in Africa. That's why it's so corrupt. That's why you see all this stuff going on right now in Tanzania. That's why you see stuff going on in the Ivory Coast. That's why you see all this stuff going on all throughout Africa. See, they don't want to. They want to keep pointing at Black Americans. Well, my mama say when you point your finger at one person, 7 get pointed at you. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and clean up your own backyard before you can come amongst us and try to clean us up. Y'all motherfuckers ain't even clean. Y'all still having tribal wars, pan-tribalistic wars. There's no Pan-Africanism over here like that. Yes, you got people that subscribe to Pan-Africanism, but there's no Pan-African front over here amongst Africans. They don't believe in that. They don't believe in that. I am telling you. Now, you have individuals, yes, but as a collective body politic, no, that is false. So anybody say, oh, this is that, and you can get land, and they love you. Oh, they will love you as long as you got that money. Let that money run out. I'm telling you, man. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Come over here and visit me and see all this shit I done built over here. But guess what? It was people from the diaspora that is helping to support and maintain this. Why ain't nobody on the continent helping me maintain this? Why they not pushing for? Look, that's all geopolitical when you see in that Ghana giving out all that citizenship over there in Ghana. That shit geopolitical because they know Black Americans know how to bring the motherfucking money. It's all about money, man. It don't have nothing to do with, oh, we love you and God brought you home and welcome home and family reunions and we live together and we love. Shit. That money run out? Okay, let's see how much they love us. Tell me if I'm lying. Am I telling the truth, brother, or am I lying?
Telling the truth. I'll be warning the host about trying to influence people to go to Africa like that, and it's dangerous the way the host talks. And the more and more you speak to her on this, it's just like mental health. That's all I have to say. It's just like mental health. Some people want to ignore the warnings.
I understand what
she doesn't. She doesn't love America like that. That's all I have to say.
And I'm an FBA and I live in Africa, and I'm telling you facts like this is why when I go on my tour, I will be giving the pros and cons. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I've been on the continent for 5 years. I've studied the ground. I studied the people. I studied the customs, the mannerisms, the behaviors. And I'm telling you, just as the scriptures say that the nations of the earth will hate us, I'm telling you, I see this on the continent when it comes to Black Americans. I see it. And sometimes even with Caribbeans and people from Britain too, they share a similar experience with us Black Americans as well, with the disdain, but not on the level as Black Americans. It is something about that so-called African American, that foundational Black American, that there's like a hate-love affair. And one of my Rastafarian brothers by the name Ross Kush, he's over here with me. And, you know, shalom to my brother, you know what I mean? He's a Rastafarian. It's Nasi. You know why they hate us the way they hate us? I said, why, Ross? He said, because we love them first. And that sat with me for a long time, him saying that. And it resonated like, wow, meaning like we have given our all, even to such a point in Harlem back in the 30s and 40s and all that. We seen what was going on with Mussolini invading Ethiopia. And what did we do? We sacrificed our bodies and joined the Ethiopian armies to stop fascism that was running throughout Ethiopia. Like we always given ourselves to this concept of a Pan-African thought, but they haven't given that to us, man. They haven't. They haven't. And I love the concept in its proper usage, so to say, but the reality of it all, that we're not getting the same feedback that we giving them. It's like you being in a relationship with a woman who really don't fucking love you, but act like she love you. She gives you all the attributes and characteristics that she love you, but she really hates you. She's doing all these things that are in opposition to her saying that she love you, because love is a verb. It is an action. You can't say you love me, but you giving me poison to kill me every day. The point that I'm saying is we're showing all this love. When Black Americans come to Africa, we show everybody love. We so happy because we fixated that we in the motherland and this, that, the third. But then when we get here, it become a whole nother story. When money start running out, you start to see certain hidden cabal agendas to stop you from, you know, prospering in business. You will have other, you know, locals, you know, dropping the dime on you, like you see the ball said in Belly, you know, drop a dime on that nigga. This is what they do. And most of the dimes be lies, making up. And you talking about lying? These lying is an understatement. You will be an Illuminati and anything else they can put on you when you're dealing with these people over there, so other people won't deal with you. I've seen these things. I've interviewed, discussed, and talked to repats throughout Africa, and most of them that are having these problems, they all share the same common thread. So to say that there must be some type of common denominator as it comes to continental Africans dealing with Black Americans, because all the experience at the end becomes the same. This has nothing to do with Tariq Nasheed. We gotta stop pushing the buck over to him as if he started this. He did not start this. This been going on for years in the continent of Africa. But what has happened, because social media wasn't popping like that, people couldn't tell these other people that did want to tell their story. They were so afraid and embarrassed to tell their story, they would just keep it concealed, and nobody wouldn't know what was really going on over here in the continent. There is a major problem with continental Africans and how they deal with Black Americans. And whether you're talking about economics, business, the constant lying, the scamming, killing Black American women that come over trying to find their heaven on earth because they tired of Black American men, so they go to one of these brothers over here or one of these men, let me correct myself, in Africa, and they wind up killing the damn woman and taking the car, the money. These are facts. These are facts. This has nothing to do. I'm on. Listen, y'all know I'm not lying. I'm over here. I'm right now in Tanzania. I'm in Tanzania right now. And y'all see what's going on right now. Y'all see what's going on in Tanzania right now?
Tell
It's
me, brother.
12:52. Y'all know within the last 3 weeks, over 3,300 people been killed over here. All over whatever this election situation is going on over here. It's a lot going on in Africa instead of worrying about the backyard of Africa. This damn fool Frank talking about Black Americans ain't got culture. Already proved all key aspects of culture, the shared and learned behavior, the complex whole, the patterns of behavior, the guides and actions, the dynamics, the symbolic. I prove we have all these things as foundational Black Americans, African Americans, tribe of Judah, Moors, whatever you want to call us. At the end of the day, we share all these things, so we do have culture. We do have culture, and all people all over the world want to be you except you. Everybody trying to be you except you. Everybody trying to be Black America. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look at their videos. Look at their videos. Look at the way. Hey, my nigga, go, come here and see it yourself. Stop listening to what people tell you and do and understand what you know. They not trying to be Jamaicans. They not trying to be Puerto Ricans. No disrespect to our brothers and sisters from the islands. But I'm telling you that they are trying to be Black Americans.
Do they still trade gold for food over that way?
Say what?
Do they still trade gold for food?
Or do they still trade gold for food? I haven't seen anybody trade gold for food since I've been in Africa. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't. All I know is when we talk that Black Americans ain't got no culture, and then I say, damn, then why are they trying to be Black? You can't be somebody that ain't got no culture. You can't, you know what I mean? This don't even make no sense. This is just another
albinos.
Some, they've stopped that. I know it was a big thing in Tanzania, in the Arusha area, where they was hunting down albinos, witch doctors and all that to take part. These are just facts, man. These are just facts. And there was a law that was created in 2011 to ban that and to arrest people that was doing that. But there was a big epidemic that them things were occurring. Them things, and from time to time, they still occur by the way of black market yields, because there's a lot of albinos over here in Tanzania, along with different parts of Africa. But it's heavy in Tanzania, and the reality is that's truth. There's truth to that. Now it has calmed down, but we know that the black market still exists. So we know from time to time a cat will disappear from here and there from time to time. So we not gonna say, oh, that don't happen today. So we know it still happened, but just not in the mass number that it used to happen.
What do you think about recolonization of Africa? What's your thoughts?
I used to be under the impression, right, which I still acknowledge, naturally, our land is from the great river Egypt to the Euphrates, as outlined in Bereshit or Genesis 15:18. But I'm gonna be honest, as a social anthropologist and a historian, that us leaving from the confines of the United States and going into another country in Africa, all we doing is reintegrating ourselves to another system that's really not for our interest. I think the best thing for Black Americans, if they want to repatriate back to Africa, is to come up with some type of catharsis or grassroots movement where we can get unoccupied land and self-govern ourselves and create our own state within Africa. If that's, but just to, come in and be recolonizers or, integrate into an already existing system, I see many pros and cons. And I'm gonna say, and it's great that you're asking that question, because that's one of the questions that I answer in my up and coming tour, called Repatriating Back to Africa: The Pros and the Cons. And I don't want to give up everything. I don't want to give up everything, but that is a very excellent question that you're asking. And many of and that was done before. When you look at the Liberian experience, we see that, there was a lot of disdain and strife because former Black Americans, when they went over to Liberia, you seen they would call them Amero-Liberians. We seen the constant war from the locals with that, to the point it became a bloody war, a civil war. So that is definitely not a good idea. The best idea is to demarcate unoccupied land and then build on that. And we do have the reasons of the fourth richest nation on the planet. So we do have the resources to create our own self-autonomy. Now, the problem is the fear factor of leaving from under the thumb of the slave master. Many of us love the slave master to such a point, and I understand we built the United States and all that. That's fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, the controlling element is still at power. And that controlling element is the Goyim, the Euro Gentile, who have a time and a half a time to woo the power structure that we see. And that's the same thing that you see in Africa. The only difference is, for the most part, you don't see their faces. That's why it's so hard for colonialism to be shook off from over in Africa, because when you see the principalities that are ruling, it's your own faces, but the structure that was in place and still intact is Eurocentric white supremacy.
Is there an African Illuminati?
Yes.
I would watch those old Nigerian soap operas, and they would discuss this.
If you're on the ground, anybody that's on the ground in Africa know Freemasonry is heavy in Africa, and there is an African Illuminati. That's a fact. That's a fact. Anybody that lived in Africa, like in Tanzania, there's thousands of Masons in Tanzania. Freemasonry is high, and there are many secret societies in Africa. That's a fact. That are aligning themselves with Western powers. That's a fact.
Lots of secret societies out there.
See, one thing about the Mighty Hebrew, I'm going to give it to you straight with no chaser. Just because I live in Africa, I've been here for going on 5 years, that don't mean I ain't going to tell you the truth. I will be back in the States shortly this coming year, and I'll be staying for a while to generate more money. I understand my intention and my intent of being here. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm always going to fight for my people, FBA, all day. I don't give a goddamn if I'm in East Jitterfuck, wherever. The truth remains the truth. And sometimes it takes people to come on the ground to see exactly what's going on so we can get a clear picture. So it won't be a thing, they're them Black Americans, they're just complaining. No, most of the things that we've been complaining about is true, man. It's true. You know what I mean? Like saying cotton pickers and Mazungu and just, they got derogatory names for us over here. Y'all ain't know that? Y'all ain't know that they sit around the round table telling their children don't deal with us?
To this day.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, don't go nowhere unless the Lord tells you to. Well, the only way the Lord going to tell you in Hebrew Israelite culture is got to come from the highest point of the mind. It ain't going to be nothing that's going to crack the sky. That's going to be like calm. You know what I mean? And it says, the person said, some went to Ghana, built homes with their money. Ghanaian authorities came and tore the houses down. And guess what? That's a true statement.
Just tore it down.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Then somebody gonna say, Frank Zainu have you preaching for hours. No, what it is I'm trying to show you got some cats that'll flame him in a debate. And that you know people can seriously get hurt to the point where it can be deaths and casualties and all that. Because the disrespect is so high. You know what I'm saying? That it can get to the point where people can get seriously hurt, man. And a lot of these cats on social media, you gotta look at their lifestyle. A lot of these dudes were suckers and cornballs. You know what I mean? Especially if you on the street level, or you from the hood, a sucker. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these cats, they went with the thoroughbreds. So when they got on social media, they became all they can be, like they was in the army. A lot of these dudes is cold turkey, man. When you meet them in real life, a lot of these old noodles. So when they come on social media, it's like a venue or like an area where they can be everything but the truth of who they are. So they point at these obvious tether ideas that they possess it and manifesting to us, man. A lot of these people had this hate for Black Americans for years, but they didn't know how to express it. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing where Black Americans fucked up at, Black was really a term that was used within the white supremacy structure of the United States to dismantle any type of cultural expression for us. It was in the negative. We went from calling ourselves the Negroes to calling ourselves Black, which is the same shit. You know what I mean? So it was geopolitically a status dealing with Black Americans, but we broadened the understanding for the mean, just all people with huge skin color and woolly hair. But the reality, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. We got to get back to that mentality that our first enemy was those with the same skin color. And we talk about ancient history. Before a Euro Gentile was our enemy, we was already fighting surrounding Afro-Asiatic nations. And these same spirits exist today. When you look at the characteristic of these people on the continent, the same people that enslaved us then, the same people now. And I'm saying that many of these African nations owe Black Americans reparations too, because they was a part of the transatlantic slave trade. They was a part of the East African slave trade. Now they trying to jump on our coattail, and now you got people in West Africa telling Europeans that they owe reparations to them. But the whole thing is, the first ones that should be getting reparations is those that will be hung, lynched, and brutalized. So when you talk about Frank Zainu, have you preaching for out, this dude is on major platforms talking shit about. I told you, these the type of tethers that be around us, man. They don't give a fuck about Black Americans. They don't. Only thing they care is if they can benefit. I'm telling y'all. Just look at the comments. CNN did an investigation in Africa and found a trail from which means they are being paid by someone with a Russian accent to come online to talk bad about FBAs. Wow. That's crazy. Wow. That's deep. I'm looking at some of the things people are saying. I'm gonna have to come back to the next episode. I found this channel and I'm at work, keep giving out the people the truth. You already know I'm gonna give them the truth, because that's what the mighty Hebrew do. They say he's speaking facts, because you gotta read the comments too. So I'm just, for DJ Genesis doing it. The Black King say, laughing my fucking ass off. You are saying Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Jamaicans, Haitians never cut their hair until they came to America. I ain't never say no such lie. What are you talking about? What I will tell you is they ain't had nothing to do with creating them haircut styles. That's all Black American. When you go to a place like Share Magic in Philly and different the barbershop scene was created by Black Americans. They even made a movie Barbershop one where you be seeing all them hairstyles That come from Black Americans, and they adopting that over here in Tanzania and all that. The waves and all that, the new wave afro, the fades, the box haircut, all that's from Black Americans, man. Cut it out, man. Cut it out. You see what I'm saying? How they trying to take everybody know that them haircut styles come from Black Americans, man. Do you see what I'm saying, y'all? How they won't even admit that we created the haircut styles, man.
It's a damn shame.
This is a damn shame, man. This is a damn shame.
I know in this video, Frank had said something interesting. He had told that he lived in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay.
Because they're saying they're like, you don't know about the hood. He said he lived in Bridgeport. And it's just interesting. How's he able to do all this?
Right.
Who financed him?
Right, facts. Latinos used to go to white barbers to get their hair cut. That's a fact. That's facts. Somebody say they don't have to recognize it. Tired of arguing with these folks who need to read more. Facts. That's a fact, man. Black Americans own, right, that's bodegas before the Latinos migrated. That's a fact. All them stores that you see like Latinos and all them had today, originally they were mom and pop stores. That's a fact, man. Come on, this is stupid, man. This is a stupid. That's another stupid argument. That's what I'm saying. They made it seem like Black American. We just wasn't doing shit. We was just sitting around. You know what I mean? All I know is when I was coming up in North Philly, when I was a little boy in the 70s, I was born in 1976. So I'm saying when I was coming up, I seen the cool motherfuckers was Black Americans. And the Puerto Ricans, we would laugh at them because they were wearing all these weird colors. You know what I mean? There was all these bright, weird colors. They weren't dressing like us. And this is no attack on them. I'm just telling you facts. And then the more and more they was around us, the more and more they started adopting our trend, the way that we dress and stuff like that. Prior to that, when I was coming up, they wasn't dressing like us. There was a time you couldn't even deal with their sisters, man. Their parents didn't even fuck with Black people. We were called morenos, man. Or moyo. I'm telling you, I shared this. I grew up around Puerto Ricans and Blacks all my life. I'm from Hunting Park. I'm FBA. My father FBA. My mother FBA. I'm telling you, my father from 8th and Oxford, part of Oxford Street gang. My father named Peacock. Anybody from Philly that's listening, they know my pop is a legend. My pop is a legend in Philly. My pop named Peacock, my mother named Ruby. My mother and them, they from 10th and Erie Avenue. My father, people from 8th and Oxford. And I'm telling you, when I was coming up, you did not really see Puerto Ricans doing what we was doing in high numbers, man. And as we are the ones, it was my generation that broke the barrier, because as the late 80s came and the 90s came, then we started to integrate more with the Hispanics. There was a time it was rare that you seen Black men and Black women with Hispanic men and women as couples. The more and more as we develop, more and more you seen it more and more. I'm telling you facts that them parents did not. That's how you know that hip hop did not come from Hispanics. Are y'all with me? Can y'all hear me? So we already know that situation. So I'm really done with this conversation. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm speaking facts, truth into life. You know what I mean? Anybody want to debate that discussion that Black Americans ain't got no culture, we can't, and I'm gonna smash you. I'm gonna smash you because if you coming with dumb arguing points that foreigners are bringing to you and that they learning from, I'm gonna smash you up. I'm gonna smash you up, straight up and down. You ain't gonna be able to deal. You're not gonna be able to deal with it because I understand the key aspects of culture, and I know how culture evolves. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that want to have that conversation, and we can go, to the consensus, man. You know what I mean? This dude coming over with some dress jacket on, pink shirt, think he can cross his legs and talk like he an intellectual as if we surpassed that. We already surpassed the intellectual, the days of the intellectual movement. We've been past that. We on some, now it's time to show and prove. I'm telling you, our worldview and experience is different. We fighting for two different causes. That man not fighting against white supremacy. He told that. He's telling you that y'all been using that as an excuse. Y'all ain't hear what that man been saying? That y'all using the whole concept of being an oppressed people as excuses not to work, not to do this, not to do that, and that you're not being oppressed. You ain't hear how he's justifying how you, so your whole experience as a people in the wilderness of the United States is a lie. It's all predicated on an excuse. That's what he's saying. Y'all not understanding what this man is saying? But y'all don't look at it from that level. Y'all don't look at it like how he said, you guys are from America, so unfortunately, you don't matter. I'm from the United States, so I don't know. I'm from Philly. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He might be talking. I think he mean the tethers, like basically they not even from America. So what they saying, it don't matter. And he's right about that. Like, how you gonna break down how you gonna tell us who we are and you don't even know who you not? This is dumb. This is dumb. Y'all not even telling us. Y'all tell us, oh, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all don't know who y'all are neither. If that's the case, because the modern names in West Africa, not even the original names. Them dogs was just made up some hundreds of years ago. Y'all ain't know that? Why you think when you look at ancient records, you don't find any of that stuff, man? They got people thinking, oh, what they doing is their names is ancient. No, it's not. No, it's not. Anybody that know West African history know better than that, man. We know better than that, man. We know better than that. Oh, that stuff been made up within the past 500, 600 years. Y'all ain't know that? Y'all ain't know them names came from previous people and other things. So I'm gonna get up off this joint. I'm here to tell y'all to close out. This is the deal. This is the closeout. AI overview. Culture is the shared learned systems of beliefs, values, customs, behaviors, and artifacts that categorize a group or society, acting as a blueprint for their way of life, guiding interactions and shaping their worldview from language and food to morals and art. It's not inherent, but acquired through socialization, consistently evolving, and distinguishes one group from another, right? And we have key aspects of culture. Shared and learned. Culture is passed down through generations, learned by observing, imitating, and being taught, not inherited. Complex whole. It includes tangible things, food, clothing, and intangible aspects of knowledge, beliefs, art, laws, morals, customs. Patterns of behavior, it dictates how people behave, communicate, greet visitors, and interact with loved ones. Guides, actions. Shared norms and values influence decisions and actions in patterned ways, creating social reality. Dynamic. Culture is not static. It changes and adapts due to internal and external influences. Symbolic. Language, gestures, and objects carry shared meanings unique to the group. Examples of culture elements, language, the primary tool for communication. And we do communicate, don't we? Through language. We do, right? You know what I mean? I ain't fitting to do that. Yo, man, everybody know a fade mean a rumble. Even though we in Philly, we like, nigga, give me a rizumble. You know what I mean? But you can be from LA, you automatically like the idea, oh, he mean rumble. He mean give up a fair one. Because through our understanding, language is expressed through the dynamics of thought, religion and belief, spiritual practices and philosophies. When we talking food, we talking about what people eat and how they prepare it, and social habits, manners, family structures, and rites of passage. We got all that in Black American culture, arts, music, visual arts, and literature. So we got these things, man. I give all praise and honor to Yahuwah, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers. Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness' sake. I say unto the family, Shalom Aleichem. Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism has risen worldwide.